me? I love that song. Does anyone know the song? How could this happen to me? Anyway, guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a big podcast with my good friend Veve Magic. We're adding her on right now. How's it going, Bev? How you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
You too. I thought for sure you'd be wearing my number 41 Veve hat.
I thought about it. I did think about it.
I had I wasn't sure. Do you have that in the thumbnail? Is that you had a Veve hat on? It was the one you used for like your poker.
Oh, that one was mine.
Okay, cool. So yeah, a ton to go over today. So I guess for people that are new here, if you're new, welcome. Not welcome back. I love you all. Veve Magic is one of the most beloved characters in the entire community. Although she does not like being called an influencer, I feel like a lot of what she does helps influences people's behavior to become a better person, to become more just positive. So we thank you for that. Magic, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I've had a very long week, so I'm ready to hang out and unwind with you. It is happy hour, so this is not water. Cheers.
This is my second glass of smegma is not the right word. Segmins is probably the correct. Yeah. So.
Nice. We're on the same wavelength. I like it.
Yeah. Good. So what is your week comprised of? What is this week consisted of for you?
It just depends. Hi, energy. It just this week I had a house guest for about 4 nights. So when you have somebody in your home, like it's an adjustment, right? You just change things a little bit. We're busy. We went to Disneyland, so it was a busy few days. And then I was under the weather for a few days, still working through some stuff. I've got some body stuff going on. And my daughter's been out sick all week, so I've been taking care of her, and it's never fun.
Did she infect you, or did you infect her?
I think we had different things, to be honest.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, completely different things. She definitely got out a lot worse than I did. And then, trying to keep up with the latest and greatest. Hey, Steph. I've been a little not as tapped in this week as normal. Just dealing with everything else. My internet was out for like 5 days.
Yeah, you told me about that.
It's just a little messy this week. I know we were supposed to do this Tuesday, and I'm like, I don't have internet.
Yeah, I was like, oh god. But yeah, we were able to make changes on the fly, which was fun. Yeah. That was good. We have had, thanks, Steph. I love you. I'm gonna go visit Steph soon. I would say in the next, I don't know, maybe in the next couple months, wherever. I was gonna try to do it before she started work, because it looks like she's gonna start soon at Disney, but it might be after. I don't know if I can get down there that quick.
Well, the number one question I'm going to ask you, right?
No, what?
Are you going to go to Disney with her?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's
better.
Yeah. I think everyone would demand it. So, I mean, Alligator Loki's got to go everywhere. Then you have a bunch of the other Disney stuff, not necessarily Marvel stuff, but legit like Disney stuff that they've had forever. Lenticular cards, just anything else that we have. I think I have a couple of Disney comics too. The Scrooge McDuck one, did you read that?
No, I haven't.
So it's the origin story of how he gets his riches. It happened, or how he made his like millionth dollar. And it was a mining operation for like gold. And he's up to like $999,000 or $999,000, like $800 something, and he's trying to mine more gold. And then someone is trying to get him to stop, and he takes out a 22. He just takes out like this shotgun, and he's like, "You're not gonna get him. Like I will heckin' shoot you. I will blow your heckin' head out." I was like, "Oh my god, this is savage." And then he gets it. The mine like blows up, but he gets his millionth dollar. Like spoilers. Anyway, it was really fun read. You should totally read it.
Is that a recent or an old comic?
It's like a few months old.
But like in general, like it's a recent production?
It's like an older comic. But they released it on Veve like a couple months ago.
Comment.
Yeah, so it was pretty heckin'. Oh God, where am I? Wait, are you big now, or is it? Hold on, my screen. Well, you know what? I don't know if I changed the screen for you, but for me,
No,
we
you're
are
good.
huge. Like, you ever see that episode of SpongeBob where the nematodes are like sucking on his pineapple? That was the wrong wording. The nematodes, these little worm things, are drinking his house, and his house happens to be a pineapple. And they're drinking like the fluids out of it, and then his everything in his house like shrinks, and he wakes up and like everything's super small. And says, "Hooray, Gary! We're finally huge!" Like he's been waiting for it. But that's what my screen is like right now.
Yeah, you have me bigger than I normally do on live streams, but it's all good.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I did that. Okay, well, it's there for
Yeah, it's in like the settings or whatever, but it's all good.
all the better to see you with, my dear. So last I saw you, you were in not the greatest shape. Your knee was like broken to bits. You had, I don't know how you made it to the airport with these, I don't know, like 30 pounds of comic books that you bought.
Kind of
How
proud of
did that?
myself on that one.
Yeah, how did that work out? How did that get? You know,
So, I traveled to and from out of LAX with a Megatron, who's a Discord moderator. We had the same flight times and everything. So he checked out of his place and he came to my hotel and helped me get everything. If not for him, I couldn't have done it. So yeah, like you saved me by getting back the night I injured, and then he helped me basically get home. So yeah, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have help. But that's another
so
update I
there,
have.
oh yeah.
I had my 6-month checkup on yesterday, and clean bill of health, and he told me that I can try to just start easing back into normal life, and obviously with care, but just got to start working on strengthening all the muscles, and yeah, so it's good news. I might go horseback riding on the beach on Sunday for Mother's Day.
I don't know if that. Well, I guess that could help like your thigh muscles because you try to really
Oh
hold
yeah,
on to the horse with your thigh. So yeah, that'll help.
yeah.
Um, I've done horseback riding before, mostly because I've dated a bunch of horse girls that they love that and that's what they do. And that's been hard. Like, I don't know, it hurts my back. And I guess I have this thing where I guess beginners do, they like kind of hold with their knees and not their legs. And
You pinch, yep.
yeah, it's been not a great time. But I'm trying to get better, trying to learn. Anyway, we have
It's a skill. And some people, like every other sport in life, some people naturally take to it, and other people, have to work really hard at it, or just are sort of not really naturally that great at it. But yeah,
yeah,
I've been doing it since I was 7, so it's a
I
long time passion of mine.
Oh yeah, you've been doing it for a while. Okay, yeah, I knew that wasn't the real word, Big A. But it was smear. I don't know whatever
It's
whiskey that
okay.
was. Um, so anyway, so since then it's been no, 7 months. I miss your face. I didn't get to go to
France
Texas with everyone.
or Texas, yeah.
And wait, what was the other place?
France.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was, oh God, we were supposed to do this movie. We're supposed to start filming, and I guess some of the permits, like a couple weeks prior, there was like, hey, we have these permits that just haven't been filled out yet, and we're like, so I this has been delayed for like over a year. I'm hoping it gets done in the next couple months. We'll see. I mean, if they say, hey, you need to be on set like end of July, I'll like, sorry guys, I got San Diego Comic-Con. I got like I might actually go to Puerto Rico. How do your what are your plans for like the VV and OMI games? You're still a master collector, right?
I just became a master collector again.
Yeah.
Literally today. I checked it yesterday because I did buy a few things, and like to see if I could. I know that a lot of rankings were going up because of active wallets and such, and so I did buy a few things to check. And then yeah, today I'm back up to master. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm happy.
Well, I think it's going to become easier as more people come in because we've seen that a lot with the Blackpink announcements. You've had a couple hundred people come in, so it's been easier to go and get that. Oh, the logo holders, yeah. So in the last 7 months, there's been a ton. Life happens. There's been a ton of announcements, both for Vivi, Disney, and then yourself. What would you consider is the most exciting or most important?
Um, Oh man, that's really hard because like 6 months in Vivi is like 3 years, it feels like. So it's hard to even, really remember everything. Um, but what all the stuff leading up to, I feel like March was a huge month and April, and I feel like everything leading up to South by Southwest, I personally could just feel the energy, that something big was gonna happen, and so that announcement was huge, huge. To have a stage, South by Southwest, um, with the Marvel executives, and I keep telling people like, the fact that we rolled in as hard as we did for it not being really an official event, not having a booth, but you had this whole like group of us of a dozen or so people with our Texas VV shirts on. We got a shout out from the Marvel crew. I felt like that was, I think the community deserves a massive shout out. The people that went to that deserve a massive shout out for that, because that had, the head people of Marvel going like, oh my gosh, like these people are really serious about this stuff. Like they're really into it, like they don't even know what's going on, and yet they're here because they just support. So I feel like that was tremendous and just shows how strong the community is. And then there's just been, more announcements and drops and crafting and, OMI, obviously some great announcements, the utility for the holders of OMI in the app, this, new exchange. I just feel like it's, I want to see this momentum continue, and not like come to a standstill. I know it's a lot because there's a lot of different moving parts, but I want to see this continue, is what I'm looking forward to. And then obviously Blackpink. I mean, that's massive. And people are like, if you can't downplay something like that, and it shows again the tremendous work that the company is putting in, because we've been in a pretty bad bear market, and there's been a lot of sentiment, and they've just been quietly building. I mean, this Blackpink didn't come overnight. This was, I think David said, it took like 2 years. So there may not be as much communication and stuff as we'd like, but there's a lot going on. Continuing to hire. We've got a great community manager, who knows us so well and fights for us. And I think that's really good. I've always been a strong proponent of, having strong community voices that report directly to the team, because they're the ones that know the day in, day out better than anybody else. So I think that's also really fabulous.
There's there's a lot to go over there, and we'll get to all of it. But one of the most recent things he said was just the community manager, and we all love MC. He's just like, I just want to squeeze him. I get like cute aggression. Like, you know what cute aggression is?
It's aggression. Like, did you make that up, or is it an actual term?
No, I don't know if it's like a medical term, but it's like it's a TikTok
where you want to like squeeze the life out of somebody because they're so cute.
Kinda, yeah. So what happens is that if you see something that looks super cute, you're like, I guess humans weren't meant to like think like that. So your brain has to compensate and be like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. Let's get a little angry. And that's why you want to like squeeze people. Like, it happens like why people cry during like super happy moments. Like they're so happy, like something else has to happen to counteract that. Yeah, the body does some strange things.
I get emo pretty easily.
Yeah, same. I think you were here when I used to have black nails, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, you're here for all of that with my haircuts and my eyebrows and.
Oh, the eyebrows.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think, or I like to think that you were in the running for community manager as well. I'd like to think that because you have interviewed David. Have you interviewed Dan as well? Yeah, I think so, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, not an interview, but he's been on my stream, I think twice.
Mm-hmm.
Once for sure, but I think twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I interviewed him. I interviewed them, short interview, after San Diego Comic-Con last year.
Yeah, that was it. And you had so you're obviously a big name in the community. The Disney knowledge you have is unmatched. What role do you think that you should play with Veve going forward? Do you think that it's maybe on as a consultant, or do you think that like, hey, you're kind of perfect where you are, just because it's not an official thing. You don't have to sign any NDAs. You don't have to, and it's just good where you are now.
Well, I am a moderator, and I did sign an NDA for that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I'm not near any sort of level as MC. Like I don't get knowledge or anything. I don't know anything that's going out beforehand. Like I don't. It's not like that. So I do like that. I've tossed around some ideas and had and provided feedback and stuff of areas that I think I could help, and I do have a couple of strong feelings about how I'd like some more integration with the community and cultivation, and I think it could help to unite and strengthen and even build us. One of my ideas is, I think we're going to have to get used to the fact that at some point in time, I believe that Dan and David won't be able to be going to all these events. I don't know when that will be, and I don't know that for certain, but that's just how it feels. Like this company, if it gets to where they're wanting to go, that's just what's going to have to come with it. But you have all these people that indirectly sort of represent the company, right? You have people that go to all these events, and we're sort of synonymous with being as if we're part of the team, even though we're not officially part of the team. And I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to be asked to be at the events. This is completely volunteer on my own front. But I'd like to help out as much as I can, more than I am now. I also think that, we have all these different countries and places or people that can't go to every event and travel. And that doesn't mean that we can't still hold events, because that's the majority of us that go to these events really go because we want to spend time with the community and talk about everything we love, Veve. And I think it would be great if the team would help sponsor these kind of events and meetups, and say have you host a meetup in New York, and me host one in LA, and Chad host one in Toronto, and they sort of work together to pick a place, and maybe they cover the bill of the place, and then they ship. Say, Chad, we're going to ship you a box of t-shirts. We want you to be in charge of handing these out to everybody that comes to this event. And we're going to ship you some promo codes of a collectible. I just think that would be a really good way to give back to the community and help unite it. And, everyone shows up in a Veve shirt, and you're at this place, this venue, you have all these other people. They're like, well, what's this? What's going on? Like it's also marketing at the same time. But I'd like to see a lot of that kind of stuff, like for instance, say, so far all the events are not set in stone as to which Veve will or will not participate in, but say there's, Fan Expo in Canada, or there's DCon in Vegas. Maybe Veve says it's not in our budget, or we're not planning on going, we're not going to have a booth, but we would still like to show, the Veve fam that is going love. And this is what we can do to do that. And, you're saving all the travel time for team members and stuff. And you just, work with your local ambassadors, quote unquote, to make stuff like that happen. And I'd like to help out a lot with events. I feel like I've been to enough that I have a fairly good understanding of how they run and operate. And that's sort of my strong suit, is organization, communication. So that's a lot of what I mean, Veve, I've said, is given me so much opportunity to travel places and meet people that I never would in life. And I'm really, really passionate about that. And I really want to continue that and continue with that building. And, any way I can help, I'd love to be involved. And I also believe, I think MC is doing a great job. I believe, though, that is a really intense job with a lot of components. It's not just him like sitting in a space and providing feedback. Like he has a lot going on. And at some point with the community growing, it may be more than a one-person job. We don't know.
Yeah, I agree. That would, I mean, yeah, unless they want to pay maybe like a large amount of overtime for them to go it. Because I imagine at some point people will just get like fan mail as well, like to David and Dalek, and maybe not assistant of like, maybe like assistant to the general manager type of deal. So maybe they get some workers underneath them. obviously they'll have a lot more money as the bull market takes hold. Yeah, only to the moon. I would say for Vegas, David and Dan might always make excuses. I'm pretty sure, even though Veve officially probably won't be at DCon this year, David and Dan might unofficially be there, just be like, oh, let's hang out with the fam, but really like meet a bunch of licensors like on top of that. They do that every now and then. I think they did that last year with Al Kahn, and the thing in Vegas. Like almost any excuse to go to Vegas, that's what people would have. For the ambassador program, that's still yet to roll out. I think a lot of your ideas would probably be pretty good. The only thing I kind of worry about is balance of, I mean, we kind of know the company fairly intimately, but we don't really have like a ton, like a crazy amount of followers. Whereas somebody, let's say like Crypto Wendy, that said that she wants to be a part of, somehow partner with them. But she seems to have a genuine passion for the community, but genuine passion for the app. Her daughter loves Blackpink, and that's great. But I feel like there's going to be at some points a couple of other influencers that have a couple 100,000 subscribers that just want to be like associated with Veve just to ride on the coattails. How do you think they should balance that?
I think it's great to have other influencers, especially with huge followings, cover. It's good for all of us. So I'm definitely not against it. I think, certainly there needs to be vetting, but yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like you got to be careful who you jump in bed with and all that, but yeah, I think that's somebody needs to have the role of doing a fair amount of research on these people and, sit down and interview with them and speak with them before just saying like, oh, you have 500,000 subscribers. You want to cover us? Here's what we can do for you. I just think, and I think that Veve would be like that. I don't think they would just jump the gun necessarily. I think they do a good job of vetting that.
I know they would vet, but that'd be really funny if someone was just like, on like 69 hours awake with no hours sleep. Everyone comment nice down below with 69. And then they just say, oh, this person has 350,000 subscribers, but they're like an Alex Jones type of person. Be like, oh, the rains are making the frogs gay, and then it just, that'd be really great. Shout out to Yo Steph that just picked up a Hitchin' to Ride Mickey from Veve while watching two of her favorite people. Cost $15 for number 653. Shout out to her for that. There is a new deal with Disney, Hulu, and HBO Max. Now, Disney already owns, I think, most of Hulu. If not, I think there might have done a deal recently to purchase them outright, but they own at least most of Hulu. But now there's a deal where you can get a bundle with those three, Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max. In your professional opinion, do you think that they could purchase any type of DC Comics, HBO Max? That's been in the talks for like 15 years, like most of my adult life. What do you think? Is it possible? Would the U.S. government say no?
I did see that headline. I actually posted that on my stories because it said that HBO Max, and then it shouted it out.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I put way more information on my Instagram than my Twitter, which is funny because my following on Instagram is super small, but I'm like, but I don't care. But yeah, I certainly, never say never. I certainly think it's possible. I mean, it doesn't it already seem like Disney sort of wants to be the monopoly on everything,
Yeah.
So
I would love that. I would have I have such a field day. I mean, so in the first season of What If, like the What If series on Disney Plus, like the writers actually wanted to have Luke Skywalker in his X-wing in an episode that involved Guardians of the Galaxy. Disney kind of shut it down. But for What If season 3, they mentioned like Lucasfilm Studios, and they like tagged them in the post. So I think that could be coming. That would be great. Last time I saw Yo Steph was New York Comic. Oh no, it's Thanksgiving. But the last time I saw her with the Veve fam was in she was in a Mandalorian costume.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great time. What are your feelings that Cryptoys has some major first appearances? They have Mandalorian, they have Din Djarin, they have Bo-Katan Kryze, and they have Grogu, and they have Yoda. Like, what is your heart torn in two? Is it do you collect both?
No, I actually personally don't collect any cryptoys. It just, you know, nothing against the company. It didn't speak to me really.
Okay.
Um, and I see people that get frustrated with that, but to me, it's well, yes, it's still digital collectibles and NFTs. It is, in my opinion, like just a very, very different product. It'd be like me. It, I equate it to it'd be like me collecting Funkos versus like statues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're just very different products. If I'm getting like a Yoda Funko versus a Yoda actual 3D statue with him and lightsaber, like those just look like completely different things to me. So like for me, that's how I view it, and that's like how I base what I'm collecting. Just those items didn't appeal to me as much. Whereas if I see like a 3D Yoda or Grogu or whatever on VV and I like the way it looks, then that's what I want to buy.
Agreed. I think that Cryptoys does have, I think, the best chance of becoming the number 2 platform for NFTs after Vivi, just because they do have a decent amount of licensors. Their marketplace will open hopefully in the next couple of months. I think they could be cool, and I'm a little not salty. I'm trying to figure out what is going on behind the scenes for why Star Wars is letting them do that, because I mean, for me, it's like, okay, if they want the most money, they should kind of do it towards Vivi. But maybe that's the issue, that both Vivi and Star Wars know that Vivi's kind of where it's at. So maybe if they go and they give a couple of things to Cryptoys, then maybe they can renegotiate with Vivi. Like, oh, see, there is an audience here, and I don't know if that's the case.
And
Maybe
Pinnacle, they're doing Pinnacle as well.
Oh yeah, with the pins, right?
Pins. Mm-hmm.
I get emails about that all the time. Have you?
Yeah, I do too. That's how I know.
Do you have any of those?
No, not on Pinnacle. I mean, I have physical pins, but I didn't get
Yeah.
into Pinnacle either. Just another thing. Like I kind of wanted. I reached out to them when they first made the announcement and wanted to host a space with them because I wanted to. I felt like the initial announcement left a lot of questions, and I kind of got like a response from somebody, and it was, sorry, my phone is blowing up. It's making me crazy.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. And I wanted to learn more. There was a lot of people asking questions, and it never came to fruition. And I'm not salty or upset about it. But I wanted those questions answered before I dove into it.
Yeah.
So that was part of my reason. And I just, for me, I didn't see the proposition value. I
Yeah.
love OBL. Not to
I love
say
her
like,
so much.
I love I think they're beautiful. Like I've seen, people send me screenshots of, the pins they collected and stuff, and they look great, but it didn't grab at me yet. And I might change my mind for both of those companies. If something else comes out from them that, really speaks to me, then I will certainly jump on board. I'm not against it whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, also like $50 seems like kind of a large price point for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a bunch of Flow, so both Disney Pinnacle and Cryptoys are on the Flow blockchain, and so I have a bunch of Flow because they're really good. They have UFC Strike. They have Josh Emmett stuff, which I think that he's very open to having some collectibles of himself over on VV, kind of the same way Joseph Parker is. Really hoping that, I think he needs like a surgery first, but that he'll have really hoping that he has a good he gets a shot at the title again and gets to go get that bread. That'd be great. Have him in the gold logo group, and then I don't know if he has the Comey Secret Rare logo. Did you get that? Did you have?
I don't have the Secret Rare. I didn't have enough OMI in the app.
Gotcha. There's a lot of people that didn't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kicking myself, but it is what it is. I have the other two.
It'll happen eventually. A lot of the reasons why a bunch of people that I know never really got OMI was because they would want to throw like $50, $100 at it, even every like couple weeks. It wouldn't just be a one-time thing. It would be multiple times. But in order to get it, it would have cost them like $30 just between the gas fees and the Coinbase fees as well. But now on base, I think it costs a couple dollars.
Right.
Since the new base liquidity pool had opened up a couple weeks ago, have you gotten any, or you kind of like, hey, I have vacations, I have
I
to.
haven't yet. I am definitely interested. I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I do it. But yeah, I haven't yet.
Yeah, there's I think that's where a lot of the volume's coming. And today it's up like 11-12%. I don't know why, because this was announced a few days ago. So maybe people needed to get time to get it into their, into their wallets, or maybe someone from Korea knows something and there's like, oh, Blackpink, oh, let's get this. And I've seen that happen before. Have you ever watched the show Crazy Rich Asians?
No, I've never seen it.
It's wild. And then you have, I think the CEO of Netflix says like 60% of Netflix users have watched something with like a Korean title. Like either it's like a K-drama or Crazy
I
Rich
did
Asians.
watch, was it the same title? Because there's a movie. Okay, maybe I have. There's a movie,
Oh,
Crazy Rich Asians, but then they did a TV show that's a reality show.
I haven't seen the movie. I kind of want to
I've
now
seen the
though.
reality show. I actually watched like a full season, if not two of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what they are. You know what they can do.
No, that was a highly entertaining show.
Yeah. What are your favorite things to watch right now?
I have a guilty pleasure.
Gilmore Girls.
No, although I was watching Vampire Diaries front to back again. I've watched that probably
A lot of
3,
my
if not 4
ex-girlfriends really
times.
love that too.
Oh,
I
love that
feel
show.
I feel very inadequate because the two mains are just like fucking
Mm,
gorgeous. And it's like, oh, man.
they're specimens. And the females are as well. The females are beautiful.
I guess, but
No, Bravo. I'm a Bravoholic. I love
okay.
basically everything Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
SoCal Omi Homie says we need more pop-up events like DCon, and I had a great time meeting you in Silicon and sharing stories. Some of that regionally would be awesome. I think so too. You are going to
Pop-up
wear
events. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would love that too. That'd be great for the ambassador program.
And somebody else also made a comment. I just want to make sure we get to it about something about me with Disney, and that's something else that I would no, it's further up. It's the same person though that commented that.
Okay, so it was Stan. Okay,
I believe it was Stan. Yeah.
For Veve Disney division.
Yeah, I've always said too that I would like to one, be representative for like the community and the company when it comes to drops, and I'd love to see more interaction with Disney. I mean, I'd love if we could have spaces or YouTube videos where we're talking to the creators of the NFTs, or the people that sit across the room from David and Dan, in some of these meetings, and we get to see under the hood a little bit and learn more about it, because I think that would really strengthen how people view Disney's relationship with Veve. And I also think I'd love to be sort of a community/customer advocate, that I feel like there needs to be somebody sort of hand-holding with Disney that has meetings to let them know how the community sentiment is, what they like about the collectibles dropping on Disney, on Veve, what Disney, things they want to see. Obviously the word we don't want to discuss, but utility. And, I feel like there needs to be, sort of an advocate there, really. And I think Disney would like that. I think Disney would love to have somebody that is holding their hand and reporting back to them every day, and all that kind of stuff. So I've always sort of wanted a foot in the door with that kind of thing too.
That'd be great. I mean, like David and Dan can only do so much. They have so many other licensors that need the hand holding, and obviously Disney is one of their biggest clients, and probably like one of the most demanding.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that, they want to know every single thing that's going on. And you have these people that are, on the Veve team that are doing their day in and day out job, and, they report to them as they can. But I think it'd be good. I think all the big licensors should sort of have, maybe somebody has so many accounts, this person handles, the whole Disney umbrella. This person handles DC and maybe this one. Because, the Disney umbrella is different teams. You've got Lucasfilms.
Yeah, you
and
have
all
a bunch of different ones.
Right. And so I think it would be good to have somebody dedicated to being there for the company and giving them anything and everything they need, whether they want spreadsheets and, like I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
ton and Marvel too. Like Marvel's a completely different team than Disney. So yeah, I think it'd be good if they had a dedicated person that is tapped in and has good relationships with both Vivi, the community, and them to, I don't
Yeah.
know. I think
I
it'd be
would
great.
love
Communication is everything for me. Everything.
I would love for you to have that type of throughway, just be like the bridge, like in the same way that you ever watch Avatar, Last Airbender, or Legend of
Oh,
Korra?
I didn't watch the recent one though.
Okay, well,
I'm the
anyway,
first.
it's really good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. He's kind of the bridge between like the physical world and the spirit world, and I would love to see you as like the mediator or the bridge between the Vivi fam and the Disney fam, because you have a foot in both worlds, and
Right.
I mean, I guess so does Steph a bit as well. But yeah,
Well, my business background was, business development, business management, innovation, best practices. And my job consisted of sitting in rooms with, high tiered people and listening and processing information and, sitting there taking wild notes and then turning that into a story and feeding that back to them so that they could use that story to tell everybody else. So, I mean, that's kind of in my wheelhouse.
So without mentioning any names, what was the most unhinged story or piece of facts that you've gotten out of those meetings?
Unhinged. I can't say that I can't think of anything really unhinged. It was really hard because it was with the defense industry and I had to fake it until I made it. Because of your background, you speak in like 75% acronyms. So I went in not knowing anything and I'm like, what the F are they talking about? And I'm
Yeah.
just writing down acronyms and, I would have to study and figure it out. But you learn quickly. But I had some cool meetings. I think one of my favorites was I got to meet Vince Cerf, who is like the actual creator of the internet. And this was 18 years ago. And he back then was he called himself what did he the something evangelist of Google was his title. And I was like, that's so cool. And he was like Conor McGregor. He wore a 3-piece suit to work every day and was just so dapper and just had such charisma. And he was telling us, he was like, got an alert on his phone and he's like, oh, it's my wine cellar. It alerts me when the temperature reads a certain thing. And I was like, that's so sad. Like, that's so next level. I love it. And I just remember being just like, can I just hang out with you for like a week? So that was like one of my favorite things. He was just so cool. He was really cool.
So speaking of that, who is someone that you could either have met or haven't met in Vivi, or I guess anywhere that you just kind of want to spend more time with, that you just want to be like, oh, can we just hang out for a couple days, like a weekend?
Oh, I'm so bad with on the spot questions, honestly. But you know what? I'm going to say Steph. I really want to spend more time with Steph because
Okay,
she and
you
I
should
have only
come.
met once, but we have like connected on the Disney front. We've run our spaces together. We text each other. And I feel like we're like great friends. And yet we've not really spent much time with each other.
Dude, you should come to Florida when I go.
I know. I'd love to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's done. We're doing it. I'll let you know when. It's gonna be it's gonna be hot AF. Just because.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing summer. I'm sorry, I'm a snob.
All right. So when's the soonest that like?
I
So
do fall
obviously,
and spring in Florida. Otherwise, I don't go.
well, June 21st is first day of summer. So if you go before then, you're fine, right?
June 21st, bro. It's like a month.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. I don't see anything wrong with it. If we go in like early June, that's still
We'll see.
spring.
We'll see.
I just don't want to wait until September 22nd to see you. I know I'll probably see you in San Diego. You're going to San Diego, right?
What's September 22nd?
That's the first day of fall.
Oh, I was like, is that an event I don't know about?
So like, I'll see you're going to San Diego, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. I guess we'll see you there. Like I guess
You
we'll
have to
wait.
message me about your hats, please, because that's gonna. It's like I think about those freaking hats almost every single day. Like, I gotta get these hats ready.
Me too.
And I will be the person that I've been thinking about it all the way leading up to it, and I'll walk out of the house without them. So you have to
I'll
remind
text you
me.
like every day up until there's like hats,
Yes.
hats, 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 hats. If like the day that you're leaving, I'll be like hats, 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 hats. Steph that said that if we go next month, she will save free entry for both of us. So that means we have to go next month.
I mean,
Yeah, 100%. So, all right, well, it's done. We'll hammer out the finer details in the in the
are we
same
doing a
way
VV
that.
pop-up event? Is that what's happening?
I mean, it'll be a small. I mean, just we'll go, and then whoever else wants to come, I'll if they have a secret alligator Loki, I'll buy them ice cream or something. So yeah, I like ice cream. I think ice cream's fun. So we'll go from there. God, what is this? Oh no, I accidentally hit something on my phone. Okay, we're good. Where was I? Sands Up Rocket Countdown. I forget what we were doing. Oh yeah, D23. When is Vivi going to get to D23? What is the holdup? What do you think, again, in your opinion, is Vivi and Disney's like issue? Why can't they fusion Ha and come together on this miraculous event?
Yeah, I hope would have been there last year. And we don't know. We don't know if it's a scheduling issue based on, other countries and things that David and Dan are doing. We don't know if it's Disney saying, no, we don't want you here. We don't know if it's a late entry thing. Like this event sells out immediately. And, I think people plan far in advance for booth setup and stuff. So, maybe Vivi was checked in too late. Who knows? We have no idea as to why they haven't done it in the past. I would certainly love to see them there. I mean, I'm going this year, and I'm going. Max and Janie are going to go, and I've had several people from the Vivi community that have told me that they're coming. A couple of people from Florida. So regardless of Vivi's shows up in whatever capacity, the fam will be there representing. Hopefully we can schedule some, a meetup, and let's all wear our shirts one day and, do some marketing of our own. But yeah, I would certainly love to. Hey, I haven't seen that one. That's cool.
It's a Pittsburgh one that was specially made for me, I think. Dog Boy and Rita Baby gave it to me a few years back.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to see it. Never say never,
Of course.
Fingers
There was
crossed.
what's your favorite?
I'll certainly be more excited if I know that they're also going to be there. That'll be amazing.
Oh, we'll get a ton of people. I think
And I'd love to help out at that event because, like, hello.
Yeah, of course.
If they went, I'm like, if you're going, please, like, help me help you.
Yeah. What I think we could. So, you've seen Avengers, right? Like 2012. Like obviously, I feel like everyone's seen that movie.
I'm sorry, which movie? I was reading a comment.
Avengers 2012.
Which? I mean,
This is the first Avengers movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like at the end of it, after like Loki kind of fails with the invasion on New York, and you see Thanos, and he says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." Like, do you think at some point the Vivi fan would be like, "All right, we're just gonna do it ourselves"? Like, if they don't show up this year, we'll go and just do it. Like, if Omi's at a certain price, I'll do it myself. I'll fly everyone out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you're going to see. Like, regardless, I mean, there's already people that are planning. You've got Kid Arcade that is planning a party in Vegas, and that's regardless if Vivi goes or not. And you've got a lot of people that are going regardless because there's a lot of people on this coast that the same coast as me that it's cheap to go, and it's Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's like if the community is going to be there, I want to be there too. So like I think that's a prime example. Like even if Vivi and even just this last decon. Was it decon or it was decon, right?
Probably New York. We weren't at decon last year.
Yeah, we weren't, but I went and there was Vivi
cool.
people there. Speak of the devil, nice. Max was there.
Where's he at?
He's in the comments. Yeah. Sandwich. Yeah, we still went to decon regardless. And I think it's going to be that way. If there's events that people want to go to, and they also know that the community is going to be there, I think you're going to see more and more of that, of people banding together and just like, let's do our own thing. So I really want to go to Vegas because I love Kid Arcade and I know he's going to throw like a really dope party. So I'd love to be in on that. That'd be super fun.
There's so many things to go to.
I know. That's the hard part. I literally today was talking with multiple people about New York. Cause I've had a lot of people asking me about New York and, you know, that one's harder for me because that's the opposite coast. Over here, everything's a little bit more manageable cost wise. So it's looking good, but that's the one that I'm really iffy about right now. But I really want to go because that's where like a lot of the European family comes from because it's a shorter trip than coming all the way out to California. And, you know, San Diego is really hard to get into. And so you have all the East Coast people plus the, you know, German community, the British community.
For the people that are just listening.
Oh, I haven't talked to Jason forever. Miss
Jason
you.
says I've worn Randy's 41 hat more than he has, and I'm giving him the finger. Both fingers.
He has worn it. Yep. Yeah. So I'm really gonna try and get out to New York, but that one's still up in the air. So
we'll get you out there. It'll happen. It ain't a party without it ain't a real party without Veve Magic.
Aw.
We'll go get you out there. There was a
Max said if I don't go, we riot.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Do you remember the show My Super Sweet 16? It was like 20 years ago.
There was an episode filmed in my town.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you're.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was it Super Sweet 16? It may have been Cribs. I can't remember which because they were like at the same time. I can't remember which it was, but there's this like inn in my town that's beautiful and like semi-haunted. And I can't remember if she did Cribs or Sweet 16. Wait, what? Yeah, you'd love
haunted.
It. Yeah.
Okay, well, you got to tell me. I'll save all my questions. You got to tell me about the semi-haunted place. I drank this way too quickly.
I actually don't know that much about it. I've never stayed there. I went and I think I've had one dinner there. It's really old and really historic, and it's beautiful. They film movies and stuff there. But yeah, supposedly it's haunted. They had, I would actually love to go back. I haven't been there in 2 decades, probably. Oh, that's dangerous. Veve Cruise is dangerous. I know Max and Janie want to do that too. That is so dangerous.
I think what would likely happen, and I feel bad for the other cruise goers, is that we would just pick a week or a weekend, whatever, on a cruise, and we would just take it over. I remember, and like 10 years ago, there was a thing called Pork Fest. Pork Fest was meant for libertarians, short for Porcupine Freedom Festival. And we would take over, it was great. We would take over Camp Rogers or Rogers Campground in New Hampshire, and we would all go and we would just be like these crazy libertarians. Everyone's like doing drugs or drinking, but everyone was like open carrying because you could do that. And, but we took over this campground and it was like 80% of us. And some people that just went there, they're like, what the heck is going on here? So I feel
think
like
I'd be packing up and leaving.
We would all go on this cruise, and then you would see like TikToks of these people that are like, I don't know what cruise I stepped on. Everyone's talking about Veve. They're wearing these shirts, and they're just going to be super crazy.
Well, it's like because we have our own like language, and everyone would be on their phone showing each other. Oh my gosh, we would look like such nerds. Well, we are nerds, but it's okay.
Yeah, we are nerds. I love that. I love. When did, in your opinion, when did being a nerd become cool? Because it wasn't when we were
when
like.
You stop caring what other people think about you. For me.
Oh.
Like I just don't care. Like I that's why I'm the first one to come out and call myself a nerd because like I know it and I don't care.
Oh, I mean, same, but I feel like I never really cared too much, or maybe in like elementary school because I was like watching like Powerpuff Girls and it was like for girls. I was like, but it's so freaking cool. But I think in like high school it became, for me, in like the mid 2000s, it became a little more easier. Oh, you like Pokemon? That's cool. Everyone likes it.
Well, I also noticed that. I mean, I never was into like major fandoms like that, so I was never. I guess I never like was put in the nerd category. But at the same time, like in school, I was so focused on my athletics, And in order to do my athletics, I had to be a good student. So like I didn't party, I didn't go to dances, I wasn't extremely social, but I was never I was never really classified as a nerd. I was just like, I felt like
You
I
were a
was
jock.
no, no, because
I mean,
it wasn't high school sports. I did it on like recreationally on my own. I was very competitive throughout high school
okay,
with horseback riding, traveling on weekends and stuff.
that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
But I always like just sort of drifted through high school. I almost felt like unseen, which I didn't mind because I don't like to be seen. So I wouldn't say that I was a nerd, but I just remember when I went to college that it didn't matter anymore. Like I almost, it's like I had a clean slate, and even though nothing about me changed, I didn't feel pigeonholed into anything. So I almost feel like that's when I noticed sort of a shift. I feel like the nerd thing is such a high school, it's such a preteen and high school thing. That's why when I like see people making fun of people on the internet, I'm like, oh my god, like let's get beyond high school, boys. Like this is, come on.
I felt so bad. So Jeremiah Aoyang, I feel like you might have seen him every now and then. He's been on the podcast. He's got some Veve stuff. He's got some OMI. He's just really big in Silicon Valley. He has a thing called Llama Lounge, and he had posted something which I thought read, "When you think of Silicon Valley, what do you think of?" And I put like, "Oh, tech nerds," because like he's like, answer really quickly. Don't think about it. It's like, oh, tech nerds. Oh, sorry. And that's what I posted. And then it says, "What city is that?" And then I reread it. It's like, "What city do you think of when you think of Silicon Valley?" I was like, "Man, I'm sorry, but you told me to reply quickly. I misread. I just completely skipped over the word city." He hasn't answered me back yet. I'm pretty sure he followed me.
Can I tell you the other thing that you're sparking in my mind is,
what?
I know when that shift was, and it was when technology continued to innovate and evolve so quickly, and that was all from nerds. And you have all these men who've become filthy rich, can have whatever they want in life, retired for the rest of their lives, but they were nerds. So now being a nerd's kind of cool because you're smart and you can like do stuff. And like the jocks, what are they doing now? You know, like that's why being a nerd is cool, is because those are the people that are successful in life, because they actually were focused in on something and put everything. Like a nerd is a person that just really likes something and is really keen to learning and exploring more about it. And those people that then are able to profit from it become wildly successful. So being a nerd is like a really good thing.
Magic, I love you so freaking much. I just want, I feel like I don't say that. I probably say it more often than I should, but I just feel like I don't say it. What year do you think that was? Like at what time period? Late 2000s, mid 2010s, recently, like 2020?
You sparked me with Silicon Valley, because that's when all these startups started popping up and they started doing really well, is when you saw a shift. I mean, because it's still, I feel it took time for somebody like why am I blanking on his name at the moment? Facebook.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I think it took time for him to really break I don't know, social norms, or I don't know. It took him, even though he was successful, maybe to get the respect. Like the like, okay, this guy actually really made it. This isn't something that's going to disappear tomorrow. Because when Facebook came, MySpace sort of edged out and left, and now then Twitter happened, and I think people thought that this was going to happen with Facebook, and like he's been able to continue that. And so it's really cemented himself. And I mean, even if Facebook were gone tomorrow, he's fine. He can retire.
All right, so I'm going to show you two pictures, and I want you to go and well, I guess I'm going to show you the two pictures, and let me know what you think. So there's one picture of Zuckerberg where he's worried about like sunburn, and he just looks like a mime. He just looks really really silly. And then there's another picture of Zuckerberg that he had recently, and he's fucking hot. Like, look at that. Like, tell me, like, you're like, oh, daddy,
Wow.
Yeah, right. There's two, like, it's like night and day.
No, I'm wowing to you, not the picture.
Oh.
Tell me how you really feel.
I mean, anyway. So he had, I guess we'll casually exit out of that previous comment, and we'll go and say, he's a big nerd for a long time. I remember reading where he turned down, I don't know, like $1 billion or X amount of $1 billion, like in 2010, and now he's worth hundreds of billions, however much Facebook is worth. And he was the king of Web 2 for, but it still is, and Web 2. When Instagram threatened him, he bought Instagram. When WhatsApp threatened him, he bought WhatsApp. Tried to buy Snapchat, failed. But then Kylie Jenner tweeted that, like, oh, who even opens Snapchat anymore? And they just tanked.
Ouch.
Yeah, yeah, that was wild. She didn't even mean to do it. She's like 19 years old and tanked the stock. Anyway, I'm going to ask you this question, and I have to pee because I drank so much. But I want your answer. I'll put the volume on super loud. He had changed in like 2020, maybe 2021, maybe even earlier. He had changed Facebook to Meta. He spent, I think the run rate is like 25 billion now per year. By the end of the decade, that would be about $250 million. So I'm not going to talk about AI just yet, but when you have competition from everyone in the world, from Microsoft to Disney now with Epic, and Fortnite, how do you think that certain people are able to capitalize in the metaverse when all of these multi-billion and some trillion-dollar companies are trying to make it and trying to box people out? How do you think, is it fair? Should there be governmental laws that try to make it fair? And just your thoughts on that. I thought this volume. All right, go.
Wait, come back. That was like the most vague question.
How is that? I feel like I asked multiple questions.
That was that was a lot.
Okay. So Zuckerberg has a run rate of 25 billion for the metaverse right now. That may or may not, that'll likely sustain, if not go up. But a lot of other his profits are eventually going to go into AI, and we'll get to that later. But right now, if he were to sustain this level, he would be at $250 billion of money added to Facebook's metaverse. That he changed the name of Facebook to Meta.
So he has more money than everybody.
Most people, yes.
Yeah.
And how do you think? What does that do to everyone else? What signal does that send to Disney that, hey, they partner with Fortnite because Disney's not good at making video games, so they partner with Fortnite? Even back in with their Kingdom Hearts games, they partnered with.
So you're asking me if he has an unfair advantage?
Yes. And should government step in, or should be like, hey, this is a free market, and how has the free market responded? I mean, you've seen Microsoft buy Activision Blizzard, the people that made World of Warcraft, to build their metaverse. Disney's going to Epic. They put in 1.5 billion for them to build their metaverse, which, by the way, Cavernous has a deal with Epic. So though Epic might be using Cavernous to go and build their metaverse. Well, Cavernous is also building the Viviverse. Your thoughts?
Okay. Again, okay. First of all, I don't like talking to myself, so everyone in the chat, feel free to talk to me. I don't like the idea of government intervention unless there's rules or laws being broken. I think that when you build a company and Mark Zuckerberg grew his company from the ground up and built what he has built, and now has all the connections of the smartest and brightest people in the world. So he might be the best equipped to build a great metaverse based off of everything that he's learned and all the different connections that he's made. So I don't know, but you also have all these startups in the Silicon Valley that are getting tons of outside funding from really, really deep pockets, and who's to say that they can't create something bigger or better than Zuckerberg? So I feel like it's sort of like free market, like may the best person win. Like whoever's doing it right deserves to, you know, like, and let the consumers decide, like, let us decide, like, if your product is good or not, and say Zuckerberg's the first one to come out, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned. That gives somebody, the underdog, who maybe not have any money, but found some funders to create something bigger and better. So, you know, Zuckerberg learned probably from MySpace and made something bigger and better. Who's to say that we can't have a new Zuckerberg that builds the best metaverse out there?
A new Zuckerberg would be wild, because that type of genius comes very, very sparingly. And as more people enter the first world, you'll get more of them. So I guess the second part of this question is going to be, Disney is putting Epic Games in charge of at least one of their metaverses, and obviously Epic Games has a partnership with Cavernous. Not what you expect, or I guess both. What do you want to see from that partnership, and then what do you expect to see? And I'm gonna get another beer real quick.
Well, before you do that, I want to make a couple of acknowledgments in the comments. Hi, Casual. Thank you. That's very sweet. What's up, G-East? And Bill, I'm still deciding. I'm not sure. Just depends on if I can afford it or not. I want to be there. I really want to be there, but I'm not sure if I can make it. I'm not a gamer. And I have access to Veveverse, but I literally haven't gone in a while. So, like, you're asking the wrong person. You know what I mean? About, like,
I didn't really mention Veveverse. I mentioned, like, what do you expect?
No, but from, like, a metaverse. Like, I'm equating it, like, because I'm not using the Veveverse as much as I should. I've been in there and I built stuff and it's fun. And I actually prefer, when I'm in there, I do prefer to go to other people's spaces and hang out and watch them work. Like, that's more fun for me. And cool. I've been meaning to get back in and visit a couple of spaces. I've just been so busy. But because, like, I'm not the, I guess, ideal customer, that's why I don't have, like, strong expectations and things that I want to see necessarily. Like, I haven't really thought about it.
Have you played the Kingdom Hearts games?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, they're so good. Like, you get to see, like, Magic. Okay,
Mario Kart's as far as I go.
How are we ever going to have a VV game night if you don't game? How, like, when me and
board games, let's go.
Well, okay, so I love Wingspan, I love Ticket to Ride, I love Risk, I love the major board games and stuff. What's your favorite board game? Engine building? Is it like Monopoly? Is it like?
I like more like team games and fun games. Like, I used to really love is it Catchphrase? It's like you play Hot Potato. Is it Catchphrase? I think it's called Catchphrase. And you have the thing, and it's like charades. Basically, you're describing something. So I like fun things like that. I really like those kind of games, like thinking games. And I haven't played, like, real board games in a while. I think the last one I played was probably Candyland.
Okay. I guess because you have kids. Yeah, Candyland.
Yeah. Battleship. Chess. I really like chess.
Oh, I love chess. Oh, yeah. That's like, yeah, I really love chess. Foster Hilt is really good at chess. I beat him once, but he beat me several times. I think he might have even let me win. Yeah, that's a good. I love that game. So OMI always says VV needs a Club 33 equivalent, and I think that's what the VV Gold logo is. Maybe the Comey Secret Rare logo, which you'll definitely get.
I think he's probably relating it to, like, Disney specifically, like a Disney club of VV collectors.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that might be okay.
I'm with him on that
one. Have you signed up for a Club 33 for Disney?
No, I can't afford it.
Well, you can't afford it now, but when you sign up, you have to wait like years, right?
It depends. But yeah, no, I'm not. No. if I won the lottery, then yes, I would sign up. I'm also very, very financially conscious and conservative. I don't ever buy into anything that I can't afford or don't know if I can make ends meet. Like, I will never sign up for something that I don't know if I can hold true to. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
If I had the money, if I had the money, to answer your question, if I had the money, absolutely, I'd be on the list.
But I mean, like, eventually, like when OMI goes to the moon, they're like, okay, so what is Club? I think it's Club 33 is 33,000, obviously for the first, or is it more?
There are rumors, there are people that know, but it's not supposed to be like public knowledge.
Okay, and then after that, I know it's a certain amount per year, or maybe that's the 33,000.
There's like a sign up, and then there's a reoccurring annual fee.
Gotcha. All right, so so you'll tell me after when there's no witnesses around. What's up, Jay's music? How's it going?
Oh, so I like what OBL put. That's cool.
The what?
OBL just commented on the bottom. I like that. I like that comment.
Yeah. Yeah. Orange Bag Lady, I miss you so much. Come back on the podcast. It's almost like she had like a kid and has like responsibilities now, and it's like, you can blow it off, right? LBO. Casual wants to give flowers to you for supporting his spaces. Thanks for coming through the other night, right? Of course. Yes, salutes to you too. So now that we've gone through the metaverse version, Zuckerberg has this like scorched AI where he's starting to put a ton of money into AI. Have you experimented with ChatGPT or Sora or anything with Google? Oh, you haven't yet.
No, I haven't. And I tried to do like the image stuff, and everything wanted money, so that annoys me. So I didn't do any of those things. And the free ones were like awful. I had, when I was putting a resume together for something, and AI was relatively new. Silicon was really pushing me to use it in part of my resume creation, and I pushed back really hard on him. And call me old school, call me not keeping up with the technology, but I said, for me, it's not genuine. If I'm going to write something, I want it to be only from my brain and only from my hand and my words. I don't want assistance in that. And yeah, maybe that's just a really old school way of thinking, and I may change my opinion on that, but that's just where I'm at right now. Is like, there might be certain things that I would be interested in using it for, but like when it comes to something that like I'm giving to somebody to show who I am, I don't feel like I should be using AI for that. I feel like that's not authentic.
So one, respect so much for that, because I would like to do that too. Well, also, I think right now, somebody messaged me the other day. Is like, I asked AI to say like, how would Randy Chavez view invest? Like, tell me the best way to invest if you were Randy Chavez, and then just mentioned a bunch of Earth 2 stuff. So it's like, it hasn't caught up yet. It's like a few years old, which is fine. I love Earth 2. So if AI was up to date and it saw all of your interviews, it saw all your posts online, saw everything. If I were to ask AI, what's most important in life, what do you think ChatGPT would say if it was up to date about you? And then how would it differ from how you really feel?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you're asking me to answer
two things.
Yeah, or like how I was going to answer how I would answer, and I can't speak for like AI because I don't.
Okay, so I'll just ask you the direct way. What is the meaning of life?
Friendship, loyalty, kindness, authenticity, passion for what you love, and sticking true to your convictions regardless of what anybody says, and belief in oneself.
You would love Lauren Faust recreated back in the 80s. There was a show called My Little Pony, and it was basically so you love the ponies because you love horses. In the 80s, there was a show called My Little Pony, and I've watched it, and it's what it is for the 80s. It's a timepiece. It's okay. I didn't really like it. But in 2009, Lauren Faust recreated that, and she kind of rebooted it saying, okay, well, this is My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. And recreated the main six, Spike, Discord, everything. And I think you would really like that because it's all about friendship and it's all about navigating the waters of just kind of growing up and different things and the little consistencies and inconsistencies of just people and how they act. In the Captain America Civil War movie, Captain America 3, Steve Rogers writes a letter to Tony Stark and he's talking about people and he says, look, as far as people goes, they've never let me down. Is that something that you have also experienced, or have people let you down? And what's the percentage rate of like, oh, people came through for me? Maybe like 69% of people came through, and the other 31% said no, they haven't.
No, I keep a relatively small circle, believe it or not.
Same.
I believe in quality over quantity. And, once you have my trust and my friendship, I will do anything for you. But I expect the same in return. So no, I've been let down a lot. Or, thought that I had a friendship that I was putting way more into than getting back in return. I think I've lost more than gained. I think I've gone through a lot of disappointment in relationships. And it's tough. And it's tough to still, that's why you have to hold on tightly to the ones that are your ride or dies. And that's why I keep my circle small, because I hold on real tight to those people. I will defend them to the ends of the earth. And I know they'll do the same for me. And you have to be able to let go and move on from those relationships that don't serve you anymore. And it's very difficult, especially if it's a long relationship. There's a lot of pain there to move on through. But I think it helps. I think I take each experience as a learning experience, and it helps you solidify what are the really important things to you that you look for in friendships and relationships, and to know those and spot those moving forward, and to really cherish it and hold on to it when you find it.
That is a lot. And I kind of saddens me a bit, say that the amount of the percentage wise is more let you down than more kind of ride or die.
Yeah.
There's a question I kind of want to ask. I don't know if that's appropriate or that would be good. I also have a fairly small or smaller social circle than I did when I was younger, because time is everything and you don't have people waste your time. In the, I guess maybe not the walls, or maybe like the thresholds that people have to pass. You kind of already answered it with okay, well, there's loyalty, there's passion, love for one another. Does the greater good theory come into effect there, where you're like, okay, well, maybe this person's kind of neutral, they're not really taking anything from me, they're not really giving it to me, but they're a really good person, so maybe we should support them? Does that ever come into the calculations, or is it more of a gut feeling and you don't really calculate?
No, I mean, I also have different levels of friendships, right? I have friendships of people that you see once in a blue moon socially, and that's it. I've got friendships where I haven't seen the person in 7 years, but if we were to see each other tomorrow, we would pick up just where we left off from, and we communicate our love languages through GIFs. Like, I've got friendships
you
where
say GIFs. You don't say GIFs.
I go back and forth, to be honest. I feel like
it's over. You're down a ring.
No, I usually say GIFs, but for whatever reason I said GIFs now. I use them interchangeably. I don't care. I have friends that I don't talk to that much, but when we are together, I feel very close to them and we have a great bond. Like I do have multiple levels of friendships. And I don't think any friendship has to be any certain type of way, just as long as like I feel like there is mutual love and respect and understanding and benefit when you're with each other. So, yeah, I mean, I have room for all different levels of friendships, but I'm the kind of person that, yeah, if I find out that it's no longer serving me, then I move on.
Awesome. One of the levels of friendship that we had like a few years ago, you told me about charcuterie boards and what they were and what they are. Since then, I've tried many. I don't know if you've ever seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico
No.
with Antonio Banderas, Johnny Depp. Anyway, it's really good. Antonio Banderas, who's like this assassin, is talking to Johnny Depp, who works with the CIA. And he says, I have this, I don't know, like steamed pork with like lemon juice or whatever. And says, it is so good. In fact, it is too good. It is so good that I'm going to finish my meal, pay my check, go back and shoot the cook. And that's what I want you to do. Like, I want you to bring balance. That's what I do. And Antonio's like, you want me to shoot the cook? He's like, no, I'll shoot the cook. My car's parked out back anyway. But he goes on and says, like, he brings balance back to things. I feel like in a lot of, at least in military squadron calls or like all calls, they go and they talk about work-life balance. What do you think is the perfect work-life balance? Or at least what's the perfect work-life balance for you?
I mean, I can't really give a percentage. I just feel like where you feel it's about energy for me. Sometimes I will feel that I'm not giving enough energy to my life and too much to, everything else that I'm doing. And that may go on for a little bit. Sometimes I catch it right away. Sometimes it goes on for too long. This has been a week where I needed to throttle back and really put more emphasis on my home life balance and make sure that my family was well, that I was taking care of myself. I said I was going through some stuff, so I needed to focus in on me. That's that's stuff that people don't know. People don't know anything about my personal life. I know they love to think that they do, but they really don't. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them thinking that they know. And that's where I don't feel the need to be plugged in all the time. And just because I may be gone for a week or two, that doesn't mean that I've left. Like, I have a life. I actually have a life outside of this.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to refocus my energy. And I've done that a lot lately. I have, I'm not putting out content as much as I used to. I do have some things that I want to do and plan to do. And I've gone into these different areas of focus. But that doesn't change, just because I'm not talking about the same thing every day doesn't mean that my views have differed or anything. It's just, I am rebalancing. I have to rebalance my life from time to time to ensure my health and happiness. That's it.
What's been the hardest thing, whether it be in life, whether it be online, whether it be in a video game? What's been something that's been the most difficult? Like, oh, wow, this is really hard.
I would say that the last year of my life has probably been the hardest year of my life. Very difficult.
And is there a silver lining there? Like, okay, well, it's been the hardest.
It's made me stronger. I'm not out of it yet. I'll be honest, I was in a really dark place for a long time. I sat in a dark room for 2 months after my surgery by myself. I've been through a lot. And, I always try to keep a positive front because I've said this many times that, magic is something that helps me. That's what I strive to be every day. I may not always be it every day, but that's something that if something that I post just about, a nice quote or wishing somebody a good day and I get a wish back to have a good day. Or if somebody says, I really needed to hear that today. If it's somebody that puts something on Twitter and says prayers needed and I how hard is it to respond and say, I'm here for you, I'm listening? And if that makes somebody else feel better, it in turn makes me feel better. I mean, that is like helping others and making others feel good is like a serious love language for me. And
Yeah.
so I feel like my magic persona really got me through everything. If I didn't have that, I don't know. I think it would have been really, really difficult. And, every day is a challenge and every day I'm working through it. But, if not for, the deep friend connections and everything that I've built leading up to this point, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and every journey you go through is to help build something more. And I will say, I feel way more stronger in who I am, and my beliefs and my core values, and there's something that I went through recently, and normally I think I would have handled it very differently. But given everything that I've been through, I find that I'm really strong, and I also have far less time for bullshit, and I don't feed into any of it. You'll never see me getting into anything online with anybody, because I'm sorry, it is just not worth my time or my energy. You can say whatever you want about me, it will never affect me. I'm good. I know who I
I love
am.
that.
So like everything that I've gone through has helped develop me into the person I am, and I'm very, very confident in who I am as a person, and I know that I'm a really good person. So that's all that matters to me.
I love that. I love that defense, that intestinal fortitude. There's a song by America, where the song I think is called "You Can Do Magic," and they say like, "You can do magic, you can have anything that you desire." What is magic to you? How is that defined?
Magic is bringing joy to others in the simplest ways. Like, that's why I love the park so much, is because the magic I see every day. It's a cast member doing the littlest thing, but making the largest impact on a family's life and their memories, their core memories, and them having something to cherish. And it was something so small. That's why, like with the internet, like it's in my bio, kindness is free. It's so easy to be nice. It's so, so easy. Far less muscles in your mouth to make a smile than a frown. It's really that simple. And why people choose to do the opposite route, I will never understand. And I just wish them health and happiness and healing, because to me that screams pain. And so that's what I want. We all have pain in our lives. But I think magic is when you can affect someone's life, whether it be for a moment or something that lasts with them forever, through a simple act. Like, you brought magic to else's life by just stepping out of yourself for a moment in time. It's so easy to do, but so many people are so selfish. And if you can just step out of your own atmosphere and being for just a moment, you can affect positively so many people so easily. That's magic.
I hope someone clips that, because that's
Oh gosh.
probably one of the greatest clips. And just someone, it would be like a Joe Rogan interview where they take out a clip and they put like a drone flying over the ocean. Oh, it'd be so cool. I like how you referenced Whitney Houston, whereas it's like, I wish you joy and happiness, like
Yeah.
in that
I get
reference.
chills with you repeating that to me. Like, I truly do. Like, I don't mean that to be sarcastic or like
Yeah.
a dig. Like, I genuinely mean that. Like, some of the stuff, I mean, I've got most of it blocked now, and it's like I literally don't care. I don't let that affect me. But when I do see it, it makes me think, like, what is hurting you so bad that you have to be mean? I mean, and it'll be like, let's step out of the Veve community. I can put up a TikTok about my dogs, and somebody made some nasty comment about my dogs, and I'm like,
Nasty comment about dogs.
wait, like what drives a person to spread negativity. Like, simply, if you don't like it or don't agree with it or don't whatever, you move on with your day. But the energy that you exert to spread negativity and spread, bad messages, you have to understand that it takes it out of you. Like, every time you do that, you're affecting your own energy. And I have gotten over the last recent years, and maybe even just really recently, I've started to understand myself and my energy on a much deeper level. I've talked to this about with some of my really close friends a lot, and I just recently went through this whole thing of understanding my energy and how deeply I get affected. I mean, to the point where, like, it made me sick. I feed off of other people's energy intensely, very intensely in person. And if I'm around an energy that is positive and happy and bright, it feeds my soul. And if I'm around a negative energy, it zaps out of me. Also, if I'm around an energy that is too high for me, it zaps a lot out of me. So I don't know if you have noticed this at all, but when I go to events, and I actually didn't notice that I didn't consciously notice that I do this, and now I have pinpointed that I do this. I will excuse myself from the event and go outside and get fresh air. I will excuse myself from a party. And when I'm in the party and everything, I'm trying to be very, very social, but I excuse myself because I need a break. It's too much for me because I'm just so sensitive to the energy. Even though I'm having a blast, I need like a breather. And so yes. Oh my God. Emotional vampires is what I've been using lately, is the term I've been using. But yes,
I would like to apologize for being a super high emotionally trading person. I feel like sometimes.
But you saw that I was like, Randy, I can't stay awake any longer. I can't.
Yeah.
I was like, I tried, but I can't do it anymore. Like, I try to tell people if I'm like, okay, I'm tapped out. Like,
sorry if I brought you any feelings of malaise or anything.
But it wasn't. That was just pure exhaustion. I was so tired. But just being in a room of like crowds and stuff, and it's just so intense, and I feel all of that. I have to, like, at the Comic Cons, I have to be like, hey, I need a break. I need to go step outside for 10 minutes and I go sit by myself and zen out for a bit. So yeah, that's something I've learned about myself, is I'm very, very emotionally, energetically, sensitive, very sensitive to energy.
No, I understand. There's I swear, like, maybe because it's cold down here, I have to pee again. So we were talking about song lyrics. There's okay. I think the Beach Boys said it best, where they said, none of the guys go steady, 'cause it wouldn't be right to leave the best girl home on a Saturday night. Bringing this to a little bit more happy, and then I have to pee again. What is your perfect Saturday night? I know it's Friday, right? Yes, Friday. What is your perfect Saturday? Yeah. What do you want to do? What fills your energy bar, gets that serotonin dump? Let me know.
Okay. So I will go with today so far, since it is Friday. Friday, I like to wind down and celebrate the accomplishments of the week and have a cocktail or two or three. And tonight, for example, when I'm done here, I'm going to go in my backyard, barbecue. I might get in my jacuzzi and watch something on Disney Plus with my kids and hang out and turn in relatively early, and rest and hopefully sleep in a little bit. And that's kind of my vibe these days. I don't like to go out a lot. Unless I don't really know how I do events, because I like my rest, and I'm fairly low key, and I go to these events and I'm like the last one to go home, and I'm pretty darn good at it. And I don't know how I do it. I feel like I go home and I need like 3 days of sleep, because it's not my normal. Like, I don't go out at home. I'm pretty chill, but I'll be busy certain days. But like, typically I like a chill day and then like an activity day. And chill days for me to like.
Today's your chill day.
Yeah, like my chill day is just sleeping in a little bit, catching up with a couple of shows, going outside with the kids, maybe going on a I just combined two words, a hike or a walk. um, Making some food at home, or maybe, getting takeout or something. I'm pretty low key.
Oh, I love you so freaking much. So as I get another beer, favorite Disney movie, go.
Oh, Ed, I can't do that. I can't. I have to like. There's so many. There's so many. I'll list some favorites. Love Robin Hood.
Nice.
That song, you can't get that song out of your head. Emperor's New Groove.
My man. All right.
Is the jam.
Is it because he's Peruvian?
No, I didn't even know he was Peruvian.
Never mind.
Princess movie. I really have a hard time between Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast when we're talking about like the older school movies. If we're talking the old school movies, that's probably Cinderella. And like the newer realm of princesses, I love Tangled.
Okay. Yeah, love her too. Yeah.
And then Pixar, I love Toy Story because it's the OG, but I also really love Monsters Incorporated. So yeah, I will never be able to pick favorites. I just can't do it.
So there was
Mary Poppins.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're going old school with that. They must have Dick Van Dyke and who was her name? Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews. Okay. Oh yeah. She's what's her name from the Princess Diaries. She's like the queen or something, right?
God, you so showed your age with that. You could have said she's from Sound of Music.
What am I like? 45? Anyway, was it?
I just recently got my daughter like obsessed with Sound of Music, and she learned the whole one of the whole songs, and I'm like so
How
proud.
old is your daughter now?
She's 5. She'll be turning 6.
Okay. And she likes the Sound of Music?
Yeah, she loved it.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool. I like old souls.
I think she's also in that age where she likes what I like, and I'm like, oh, this is such a classic, you have to see it. And so I think she like it's cool because mom likes it. So I'm gonna soak that up while I can, because come like 11 or 12, she's gonna be the opposite of everything that I like. Ew, mom likes that, gross. So I'm soaking it
up. So you mentioned beauty. I want to bring this up because I don't think I've had a woman on here in a while. Have you heard of like the man versus bear like argument?
No.
I don't know. I think it was a woman. It's definitely a woman that was asked, or somebody was asked, like, if you were alone in the woods, would you rather encounter a man or a bear? And then
funny.
And I think most of the men said, oh, like another man, but like a good probably maybe 50% of women said like, oh, well, a bear, because a man can lie and cheat and steal and emotionally manipulate, and like a bear can just like hurt you. Like a man can hurt you, like they both, but a man can do all of these things. I get like, if you're in the middle of the woods, would you rather encounter a bear, grizzly bear, brown bear, or a man?
I would love to know the minds from where these answers are coming from.
So I'll give you a little hint.
I guess it depends on some of the stats of this male.
Okay, so I'll give you a hint. Well, this is my own bias, but I do believe, like, it is from scientific fact that of the many women I've been around and I've dated and just spent a lot of time around, I feel like, and again, this is just how I feel. I don't know of any scientific stats here, but in my experience, a lot of women do not have like a survival mode, and they're just like, oh, let's go here, let's go there, and they just like don't have this like self-preservation about them. We'll get to you in a second, or I guess we'll get to this first. Best Disney character impersonation for 30 seconds. Okay. Oh God.
That's on you.
Oh gosh. Oh, come on, Maxie. Let's go and do a road trip. Gosh. Magic, what are you? What's that face you're making?
That's pretty damn good.
This is it. This is it, Maxie. Left or right? Left or right? Your mother's I don't know how else to speak in this language except for insults. Let's do a roast of Veve Magic. Your elders smelt of elderberries.
This is pretty good.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm a fairly decent voice actor. No, can't do Donald Duck. I'm gonna die.
I think
do you have
made 30
anything?
seconds. I think you're good.
To infinity and beyond. Anything you have here would help.
Oh no, I got nothing. Nope. This is your channel. I'm not getting paid the tip. That's all you, bro.
You see what I'm working with here? Some of those are from last night when I was on the OMI is my homie channel. Okay, Disney characters. I don't know. Anyway, what were we saying before this super chat came in?
We're on movies.
I forget. Oh, the bear. The bear.
Yes, yeah, the bear.
So I feel like a lot of women have just like this. They don't have a self-preservation, and they just put themselves into a lot of dangerous situations. But that's just my own experience and opinion.
Okay, I can give you my answer.
Okay.
I am a guy's girl, and I'm also a girl's girl, but I have probably more guy friends than female friends.
You seem pretty chill. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just so low maintenance. Like, guys are just so easy.
Well, spread that around.
Yeah, a lot. I lived with my last year in college, and then after I graduated, I lived with guys. I'd also lived with girls previously, and guys were just so much easier to live with. Oh my god, it was so much easier. I have no problem like speaking my mind and stuff, and standing up for myself and stuff. Like, so I'm not fearful. So I mean, yeah, I would choose a dude. I'd either like make friends with them and we would be chill, or I'd F them up. So
yeah, I feel like
I'm not afraid of guys.
Yeah, I feel like most people are pretty chill, in my opinion, but also like I also feel like a lot of people are chill, maybe because like, do you know the term like scary dog privilege?
Mm-mm.
And so it's a lot with like cosplayers. I feel like it's a lot of these women dressing in like scantily clad like outfits, but they have like scary dog privilege, which is like they have this entourage of like male followers who are all like, oh, she might be looking like a doe that you could like take advantage of, but the dudes following her, like the entourage that it has, are all like, I'll fucking murder you if you touch her. I'll fucking put holes in, like they're like, and they have like that scary dog privilege. I forget where I was going. Sorry.
Something about women who can't, who would choose the bear over the man, or
I don't know. I forget. It's I'm on like my 8th drink now, and
I gotta catch up to you. Beyond me.
It's gonna go into chaos. Okay, so another question I had: Spaces. The last Spaces I was on with you. Not the last Spaces you did. I don't think. Just the last Spaces I was on with you. You were just talking about the cars, the Pixar cars drop, and the what's that called? You were just asking us for our favorite cars, and I talked about the
Mater, right? Was your favorite?
Well, I really liked Mater, but I was really curious about like his rolliness, the Pope car, and the Pope.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Have you taken a look into the Pope mobile and his rolliness since then?
No, his rolliness. I have not.
It is so cool, and the people, like the community that loves that, is so wild. It's so out of left field.
Yeah, that's an interesting sort of like fun fact about collecting the stuff in person, like in real life, is some of those cars were like super. I mean, I don't know if they were. I mean, I remember paying a decent amount for one of them, but they people paid a lot for some of these cars. I remember there was a Popemobile, and it was like impossible. Like you were paying a lot of money if you wanted to get that car. But like I got Frank was hard to get. He's a tractor that like attacks them. Miss Fritter was a little hard to get. And there was another one that I really liked, and I'm trying to remember what it was. But there were some that were like really tricky to get. But I remember the Popemobile was like unachievable, like could not be touched.
Yeah, that's impossible. I think I got the secret rare, like the piston cup.
Oh, nice.
This cup. Yeah, so I got that just because it was like $12, and I was like, oh, this is
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I still haven't gotten that yet. I need to get it.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, it was like $12. I don't know what it is now.
I got rugged because I waited. I didn't do the drop, and I waited to buy everything on the aftermarket. And by the time I bought them at the prices I was happy with, all the piston cups had been minted because it was a free mint if you had two of the cars. I forget which ones they were.
Yeah.
And by the time I
Maybe
was
also rare in the
Storm, and was it? I don't remember the other car, but by the time I went to go mint, they'd all been, and I was really surprised, like pleasantly surprised. They'd already, all the piston cups had been minted. So that's good.
Well,
so
I
still need to buy the
get one for less than $14. It's $13.60. So I think that's one of the cheapest secret rares that we have here over on the app.
Oh, and I need those MCP points. So yeah, I might have to go look at that.
Yeah, let's go. SoCal Omi Homie says, how many Blackpink editions are going to be offered, processed pre and post at drop? Yeah, let's get your opinions first.
Mine? I don't know, because are they going to, so it was I think he wanted price pre and post drop is what he was looking at.
Yeah.
Are they going to stick with sort of the mint runs they've been doing, or are they going to increase mint size because they're expecting there may be new potential
They've got to
buyers?
increase it, right?
So that's the first question that we have to answer. Do we think that they're going to make it more because of this deep fandom, or do we think, because some of this stuff on the app is huge fandoms and the mint sizes are really low because of the user base? So I mean, imagine if they had low mint sizes for these, and then those hordes of fans find the app, and it's super hard to get. That'd be insane. I mean, my gut makes me believe that the mint sizes will be bigger than normal. I don't know if like insanely big, but like bigger than normal, because of the fandom. And I feel like the licensor would also be like, we know our fan base, we know how big this is, therefore we need the mint sizes to reflect that. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I think.
So I'll give you a little bit of alpha here, which I guess I'm giving everyone alpha here. One of my last messages, oh God, hang on. One of my last messages with David was,
you read your messages from David out loud?
Oh, maybe I shouldn't.
Okay. I don't share any of that stuff. You can do whatever you want, though.
So this is a Corona, but there's something called a Coronita, and Coronitas are like super small. And yes. I thought, like, when I woke up, I was like, oh, it's a Corona. Like I thought I was huge. I thought I was just like a giant. And then
nice deflection.
Well, no, it's a true story. It happened the other day. It happened like 3 days ago. And then I was like, oh, all right. I guess I'm not getting, anyway.
That was like a full circle moment to like SpongeBob Pineapple.
Yeah. That was. So I guess I'll ask you this. Mr. MC1 is going to have a space from 10 to 11:30 on Monday p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The people of Veve want me to be live for the drop, so I'm going to be live for like 5 hours from 11:30 to I guess 3:30, maybe 4. Like before that, whatever.
When's it? Do we have the date for the drop?
Well, oh, not the drop, the reveal, like the announcement. And I'll give you some. Oh God, maybe I should. Oh God, I don't know what to do. Uh, get, heads or tails? Pick something.
Heads.
Okay, heads is okay. Well, I'll give it to you.
You're
There's
gonna do
going
it
to be.
regardless.
Well, I picked heads because Veve people and the Veve fam have heads. So that is, and they don't have tails. So, anyway, the, there's likely going to be another video that will be revealed like an hour or maybe even at the premiere of what we're going to do. So it's not going to be the drop. It's just going to be the details of the drop. There's not going to be any new music, at least for this drop. There might be music for other drops. But there will likely be a new video for this. As a fan, what's your hope for the video? Is it a little like wink or a little voice message from the actual girls?
I can't necessarily classify myself as a fan because I'm not like I'm not a super fan. I mean, I think they're great, but I've not been like a long time listener or anything, so I won't like claim fandom. But I think it's great. If I were a fan and as a Veve fan, the biggest thing for me, I would love to see them involved with the announcement in some shape or form, even if it's just reposting on their own personal socials or whatever. That would be skyrocket huge type stuff. I mean, for me, okay, let me equate it. For me, Blackpink saying anything in their Instagram, they did, right? Like their official Instagram did, which is huge. I mean, that's the same as for me as a Disney fan, Bob Iger posting something about Veve on his social. It's that massive. Yeah. Like it's actually more than that because they have such a huge fan base. But like that's how I would equate it. Like if Bob Iger like came out and said something about Veve, I would probably melt off this couch. So if I'm trying to see myself as a Blackpink fan, if I saw them do that, and if like I know there's a lot of huge Blackpink fans on Veve. I think if they like saw that of the people they follow, if one of the girls posted or they all posted or whatever, I think they would just be like, "Oh my God." It's like face melting stuff.
So if I were to ever get Bob Iger on, you'd want to come on as well?
If I wasn't on, we would have a problem.
Okay, well, I guess if I ever get Bob Iger on, I have to share the interview. So yeah, that's fine.
It's not a threat, that's a promise.
You just shank me at like New York Comic Con. Yeah, just
take your leg out
with one less kidney.
Yeah, that'd be major.
Okay, well, all right. I guess now I know the consequences of not bringing you on that if that were to ever happen. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a possibility that happens one day. I was talking to Uncle Jeremy Pador yesterday, and one of the things that he says, like, Randy, you're a connector, and you could possibly have some of the biggest people in the world on your podcast just because of the way that you connect people. Outside of Bob Iger, which I guess is probably would be your preferred person to get on, who do you think I should try to get on? Who do you think that I should try to use my influence to get on? And how do you think I should use my influence to try to get them to do what you think would be good?
I'd actually prefer Josh D'Amaro over Bob Iger, to be honest. Josh D'Amaro is chairman of the parks. That may not be his exact title. He used to be like the president of Disneyland, and then he became the broader spectrum of like chairman of like all the parks. And he is extremely charismatic and has always seemed to value the importance of connecting with his fans, like Disney fans, not fans of him. I actually saw him when I went and did that tour of Disney Studios. I saw him dining in the cafeteria, and I was like,
did you say hi?
I wanted to talk to him. And I've passed him before at Disneyland because he shows up for all like the major events and stuff. So I've seen him multiple times at Disneyland.
Did you say hi? Did you like introduce yourself?
No, I'm too shy. I know. I'm too shy. Um, but I would love to pick his brain. I would love to speak with him. He's smart. It's just yeah, he would be great. And the rumor is, I don't even remember where I heard this from. Actually, I think I do remember. But the rumor is that he has a partner statue.
Oh, that's like the perfect segue. And you could just be like, either pretend to not know who he is, like, oh
I
hey,
wanted to talk to him to ask him if he has a partner. Like that's part of the reason I wanted to talk to him. Is it true you have a partner statue?
well, like if I were him or if I were you, I would have been like, hey, can you just take a picture of me real quick? And then just like with the partner statue on there, and then be like, oh hey, yeah, hey, thanks for the pic. I heard you have one. Is that and that would be magic. If
I'm so
so
not
there's
like
a
that. I'm so not good at that stuff. Like you're really good at that stuff. I'm not good at just like boom, like broaching a subject with people. I'm not fiery like that.
in
I'm too much of a
episode
wallflower.
4 of Rocky 4, he is about to fight Drago in Russia, which is really Wisconsin, but it's Russia. And Paulie says like, Rock, if I could step out of my body and put myself into anyone else, I'd be you. And then he kisses him on the cheek, like magic. If I could be anyone else, I would totally be you. Just like the opportunities, like your brain, like your knowledge of this. You also have that. You have that certain spark that gives people that just want to just talk to you and just want to like, oh yeah, you're awesome. I want to like best friend the shit out of you. And I would totally go and use that, and I would just talk to everyone if I were you. Also, I think you're frozen on the video.
I'm definitely frozen.
That's a great picture. Oh my god, I'm gonna take a picture of that of you
No,
frozen.
don't.
Let it go, let it go. Oh my god, that's great. Oh my god, it's perfect. Okay.
So my computer is really old. I need to invest. My computer's really old, and so like when it gets this far after like 2 hours, it does this. So I can try and leave and come back, or it might be dead.
Well, I mean, you could try, and then we can do that. And if you do, all right, no big deal. Take off your internet, put back on your internet, and if you come back, great. And if not, no big deal. I'll shoot you a message, and then we'll talk privately for a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. Let
All right,
me let me try. Sorry, guys.
Yep, I'll get through the rest of the comments. Home for 10,000 characters and 20,000 price point. Oh, for the Blackpink? I mean, well, let's do the math on that. Let's play those dominoes out, and let's say 10,000. Let's say they don't take 90, but let's say 10,000 times 20. That's $200,000, and yeah, I think that's fine. Lambo has done it where they've had 300,000, for them, and I think that's probably fine. That would be about 2,500 characters each, and yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fine. I think that is a fair amount. I do think though that they might want to have a little bit more than that, but again, that's just my opinion. Oh yeah, I would love to have a conversation with Elon Musk. Elon Musk would be he'd be one of my favorite people to have a conversation with, just because he thinks like me, but to like the nth degree, and he has that knowledge of AI and electric cars. He thinks about things. In episode 1 of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn is talking to Shmi Skywalker, and she says, he can see things before they happen. That's why he appears to have such quick reflexes on everything. Talking about Anakin Skywalker. Elon Musk can see things years out before anyone else can. And that's why he appears to be such a genius. It's just that he sees things where they're going, and he develops ways to get there quicker. And that's why he appears to be a genius. And he probably is. He probably has a 187 IQ and all that. Yeah, she was first. Отпусти и забудь, что прошло уже не вернуть. Отпусти и забудь, что мне нельзя забыть. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. I can probably find it on. I would say, all right, Frozen Russian lyrics. Well, I guess it should be like "Let It Go." I got, yeah. So it's "Отпусти и забудь." Mitiru Kroidunastonen Vision, Iberians. Oh, I can't read Russian the way I used to. Skonzainkararevso Korlevu Staraya Avesteston etina Seuragan. Megi Ergo Zerjat Noyaze Moga. That's what we're looking at here. Niat krivad hrani secret, vusoroše djevos djevesech, zose čuv sanazamo, nočedna vся, a pusti i zabud, što prošlo že nevenu, a pusti i zabud. Okay, so we're going to get back to Veve Magic here. Thank God she is back on.
So sorry.
I was singing "Let It Go" in Russian. Thank God you get back on here because it would have been a not good rest of the stream.
I had to completely restart my computer.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. All
right. So yeah, I'm going to start a GoFundMe for a new laptop. I'm kidding. But
we can do that as well.
I really do need to. This is like the third or fourth time that has happened. When I did a live stream interview of Diana, right when she came onto the team, my computer froze right before we were supposed to go live. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to do something about this. This is terrible.
Oh, poor gal, poor lady.
Oh, well, it stresses me out when it happens. It's so frustrating. Like, it bothers me. So apologies, everybody. I'm really sorry. I'm going to get a new computer, I promise.
Okay, so here, it's not going to be your favorite Disney movie. It's a different thing that I have to ask you while I go pee again. And I'm really a little bit
doing the pee thing again.
Salty that I've had to pee. This is going to be a third time, and you haven't peed at all in 2 hours. What the heck is going on,
bro? Like, come on, you can't break the seal. This is like going out 101.
Maybe I just have like an enlarged prostate or something. Anyway,
don't break the seal.
It's too late now. It's still broken.
You've never done a Thirsty Thursday at a bar, have you?
I don't know.
There was a bar in college where they had Thirsty Thursdays, and the beers were like $3 or something all night long until the first person had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
and then after that, they went to normal price. Huh?
So that they didn't have to go to the bathroom?
I mean, I don't know if anybody went as far as wearing diapers.
I would have.
And then whoever went to the bathroom first got obviously massively shunned.
They got heckled.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. So I have before I ask this question, I have another question for you. What college did you go to? What were you studying? What was college like? And yeah, those two questions are fine.
I had a lot of options for college. I wanted to stay local and in California because I'm a big wimp and didn't want to go anywhere else. I almost went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo because that's where my dad went. And it's a beautiful school, beautiful area. And I really love it there. But I ultimately chose the school I did because of the NCAA athletic program that I wanted to be involved in. So I went to Fresno State. So shout out Fro Comey because we are both familiar with that area. What did I study? I went in with animal science. I wanted to be a veterinarian and was really passionate about wanting to be a veterinarian. My equine veterinarian growing up, I was obsessed with. He was so good with horses, and I just admired him so much and wanted to shadow him. So I went there for that. And then in the first year, I got into the curriculum and I had like a false sense of reality and expectation of what animal science was going to be. Like I thought I was going to be learning about dogs and cats and birds and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, this is how you inseminate a cow and this is how you vaccinate a sheep. And it was like, just not at all what I thought it was going to be. So I just was like, do I want to do 4 years of this kind of curriculum and then possibly still not want to go into vet school after that? Or do I want to do something different? And my first year I had a linguistics class and I really, really love language. I wish I had minored in Spanish because I was really good in Spanish in high school. And I kind of wish I had minored in Spanish, but I didn't. And so then I was stuck trying to figure out, I don't want to wait too long because it's really hard to graduate college in 4 years now, by the way, especially if you're on an athletics program and you're going to weight training and practice and all that kind of competition. So I had to do summer school 2 years in order, maybe 3, in order to graduate on time with all the credits. But I just thought about, okay, college, that's where you figure out what you want to do in life, right? And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I just thought, you know what? Business is good for anything. Business will help me figure out at least somewhat. I don't know. I just figured business was good for anything. And I always was passionate about marketing. I don't view myself as like a creative, but I really love marketing. So yeah, I studied marketing and that's my degree.
You don't have to answer exactly what years, but if you can
I'm not gonna answer that. I mean, I don't really care about my age, but
well, if you could give us areas, what areas of what eras of years did you go to college? Was it early 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s?
Late 2000s.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, early to late 2000s.
Okay. All right. So you went for like.
Oh, I don't care. 2002 to 2006. All right, that's when I went to college. Do the math, guys. I don't care.
What college did you go to? If you answer that.
Fresno State.
Where?
Fresno State.
Okay.
It's in California. And the only reason I chose that one, I was going to go to Cal Poly, but I chose it because of their equestrian program.
Nice. Yeah. And I think Cornell has like one of the only other like fairly competitive equestrian programs.
No, there's a lot. And Cornell does have a very fantastic program. But at the time that I was in school, it wasn't NCAA. So I went to the only school in California that had an NCAA team. When I first went to the school, we were still Intercollegiate Horse Show Association, IHSA. So we competed against Cal Poly, Stanford, Davis, UCLA, USC. Once we transitioned, so when I was there is when we transitioned fully to NCAA. Then we were competing against Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama, some of the Northeast schools as well, but not all the schools. Some of the schools are what we call club teams, and some of them are NCAA.
Okay, so you graduated high school in 2002 as well, the same year that you had. Okay, so when you had done that, it was maybe like a year-ish after 9/11. Did that hinder any college applicants? Like, okay, well, definitely don't want to go to New York, or definitely don't want to go to any place that had any major.
Not necessarily. I just I really love California, and I didn't want to leave California.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a Cali girl through and through. South Carolina was, if I were to have gone to another school for the same reasoning, South Carolina had like the best team, and I really loved that coach. But we went and competed there in the winter. Man, was it cold! And I was like, I don't know if I can do here. But yeah.
Wait, it was cold in South Carolina?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then after I graduated, so when I was training in Malibu, one of the clients, she was never a client when I was there, but she would come ride and visit from time to time. It was Burt Bacharach's daughter. She went to South Carolina on scholarship and rode for South Carolina.
So when is so you don't have to tell me the exact the year, what date is your birthday? Like what month and day, August. And that's it. August what?
27th. I'm a Virgo.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put that in the calendar. I don't think I ever knew that before. So it's going to go there. And
I'm a Virgo through and through.
Magic like D-Day. Do you study like Virgo rising and Sagittarius?
Yeah, my friend just had me download this app. That's kind of cool because you can like connect with your friends and like your signs with your friends and see like how you relate and where you conflict and where you see, like, I don't know. It was really interesting app. So I'm like, oh, I've never heard of it before.
Okay. How much stock do you put into like, oh, well, this person's a Scorpio, I can't be with them, or this person's like a Gemini, they're going to be the worst friend?
I don't, and I don't know a lot about, Bills and Aries. I don't like, have an issue being friends with anybody based off their sign or whatever. I just I feel like it gives me a little bit of foresight into like things that we should talk about and shouldn't talk about, and where we can conflict and where we could mesh really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know why, but I am, and I don't know if it's just a me thing or if it's a Virgo thing, but I am inexplicably drawn to Scorpios. Like if there's a Scorpio in the room, I will find that Scorpio. But but I do this with Scorpios. So it's this magnetism, but there's also, it's like this love-hate thing. Like I will for sure butt heads with them, but I'm magnetized towards them. But like I get along really, really well with Tauruses. Like I almost can meet somebody, and if we're vibing, I'll be like, "You're a Taurus, aren't you?" And are you a Taurus?
Oh, I thought you said horses, not Tauruses.
No, Tauruses. I'm like, "Are you a Taurus?" I'm like, "I don't think you're a Taurus."
Okay, so let's go with that as well. What in the Chinese zodiac, what year were you? Like, what animal are you?
I'm a rat.
You're what?
I'm a rat.
Oh, okay. So I heard that people born in the year of the rat were a little bit special. So as a rat, like what other animals do you think you get along with?
I haven't looked into that at all, so I don't know. I have not studied that whatsoever. Like in
Gotcha.
terms of the animals and
Okay.
stuff. I don't know.
All right. So getting back to the other thing, I'm a Sagittarius. What does that tell you about me?
What month are you born? What's your month?
December, Sagittarius.
Oh, I feel like that might be my brother-in-law. I don't know, because I've only like, I honestly, I would like to do more research. I feel like I've only researched like people that I've had like strong interactions with. And it's funny because most of the people that I've had stronger interactions with have been either Taurus or Scorpio. So like that's what I know the most about. I don't like know a ton about I don't know a ton about like other signs.
So as far as the Chinese zodiac, your best match as a rat would be the ox, dragon, or monkey. Your worst match would be a rooster or a horse. So we are, and I'm a horse, so we would be the worst match as far as that goes. I hope we can break those traditions and be the outlier. We would not be the
Be the exception to the rule.
Yeah, we would not be the rule. We'd be the exception. What are the other things that people tend to generalize that you are like the exception and not the rule?
In terms of what? My sign?
Anything.
That's a hard question.
I love that face that you made. You were so like cool, like you were thinking, like your brain, like all the wheels were moving.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really hard for me to just like get off the cusp. I mean, I guess I could like generalize women, but like I don't even really want to do that. But I'll say I go against the grain a lot when it comes to that stuff.
So it's not my place to announce, but somebody that you probably know, that I think you know, just got engaged. So I really like, I'm like a sucker for like chick flicks and romances, and I like that stuff. What is something that you're a sucker for? Something that just like people kind of find a little weird, but you just love?
I definitely love rom-coms.
Oh, my man.
Really. I really like period pieces too. Like I love, one of my favorite films of all time is Shakespeare in Love, and Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
Yeah. And people were like, boring, snooze fest. Like, and I used to watch it with the captions on because I wanted like those, you know, because they talk sort of like Shakespearean, it's sometimes like for us hard to understand. So I had to like watch it with subtitles to understand everything and like the poetry of it all. And yeah, those are a couple of my like favorite films.
When they speak, do they speak in iambic pentameter?
No, here and there. No, there was like a maybe a like phrase here and there that they would be quoted from the books, but
and that would be okay.
Yeah,
that would be awesome if they did that. That'd be so impressive if they did that as well. I'm getting a little alcohol be hitting me. What are you drinking over there?
Vodka. But come on, I got a high tolerance.
It's true. I have
I'm good.
I'd like to say I'm a little lit because I lost weight and I have a lower tolerance now, but it's not that. It's just because I drank too much. Uh, and that's why.
But there is one other thing that I would like to discuss if it's okay with you.
Absolutely. Always. Whatever you want. Let's go.
My trip on Tuesday.
Your what on Tuesday?
My trip on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's literally what's in the title. Poker in Vegas. Let's fucking go. Okay. So first, I guess we'll get to this. First off, how did you first learn about poker and Texas Hold'em? Who taught you? Who was your first sifu?
I probably started playing with the boys in college that I lived with.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have like poker nights and I would like watch and then finally like started to play a little bit here and there and then took like a long hiatus and my brother was really into poker. I have family that's super into poker. But never really got back into it. And then I don't know, like I just with the VV Discord, we started like a poker league and I was like, hey, why not? And I'm obsessed. I play every single day. Every single day. I love it.
So
I did terrible today, but I won yesterday.
Yeah, I get it. So in your opinion, who is the greatest poker player right now and why is it Phil Hellmuth?
Randy, you don't understand. I don't follow poker. I can't tell you that. Like I am like, I just play for fun. Like I don't study it. I don't watch it. I actually have 3 videos saved in my notes on my phone that I need to go watch because I'm so behind and like out of it that I don't even know how to play at a real table.
Really?
No, but like, yeah, like online I'm great, but in person I might suck. Like I might be terrible, but like I'm going to keep the same strategy and just see how it goes.
Okay. What is your strategy?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So what's your favorite hand? Mine is pocket tens. Tammy hates that. She like thinks less of me because of that. But what about you?
I really like King 10.
Why?
I love an ace queen, obviously pocket aces, but
Oh,
yeah,
I
I think
hate
like
pocket aces. I almost always lose because of that hand.
I know I had pocket queens today and I should have just gone all in, but somebody had raised and I re-raised and then I didn't hit. The guy got one with 2 pairs of like 9-10.
Ah, I hate that.
And I'm like, first of all, why'd you even call me? A 9-10?
So in like 2016, I got in a fight at Parks Casino, and there was this guy that I had like 7-4 offsuit. It was like the worst hand ever, but I was big blind, and everyone just called and was like, okay, I check, and the flop came out 7-7-4, and I was like, oh, the nuts. So I have it, and I was like, people are betting because they had like pocket 10, pocket kings, ace king, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll call. I called everything.
You should have
And this one
raised.
guy bet like a large amount. I didn't have a ton of chips. I had like $300 left, and I put it in. And I was like, okay, I call. And then so I wound up like 2.5xing, like more than doubling up in the hand because other people had called before that last hand. And this guy, fat guy in like his 40s, and I was in my 20s, and he was just like, why were you in the hand? And he comes at me, and I was like, all right, let's fucking go. And we got in a fight, and he's like, why were you in the hand? I was
Like
like,
a physical fight?
yeah. So
Over poker?
like yeah, it was in Parks Casino in Philadelphia in 2016. It was January of 2016. It was like a couple weeks before I deployed. And then everyone comes in. It's like a fucking WWE match. Like the referees coming in, the pit balls are coming in. Everyone's like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And I was like, dude, he's like, why were you in the hand? And I was like, I was big blind and nobody bet. Like, what?
And then I had the nuts on the flop. So why
Yeah.
would I not stay in? You want me to fold, bro?
So, but he was just like doubling down, like, you shouldn't have been in the hand. You should have folded. Like, why would I have folded
That's
any
so
time?
weird. That's so
Oh
weird.
God, it was wild. Yeah, that was a that was a great time.
Okay.
So
I'm
he
not
like
looking for a fight when I go to Vegas. I can tell you that.
yeah, no, it wasn't a big. It was so he got kicked out. I was like, okay, I'm done. I go to my
Did you
friends. He was
cash
like,
out?
hey, yeah. So I cashed out. I was like, I'm ready to go, and then we left, and that was that. I've been there like once since. But yeah, that was like one of my most exciting
I was actually
exciting.
debating. I have a local casino in the county I live in. I was hoping I'm in like a group with people like sort of in my area with VV people, and I was hoping that somebody would go with me because I don't want
Oh,
to go
let's
by
go.
myself. But I kind of want to get like like more table experience.
Yeah.
Because I played like we had a like poker night here, oh gosh, like a year ago or something, but it wasn't for money, it was just for fun. But like outside of that, I haven't. So that's why I need to watch the videos, is I need to just it's more about
His casino was good. Well, he wasn't like a minority or anything. He was white. He just had the stash. He was just fat. He was anyway. You were saying magic.
It's more about I would like the in-person experience for etiquette. Like
Okay.
that's why I want to watch some live streams and stuff. Is just more of the etiquette stuff. And the organizer, I've been texting with him a lot and stuff. And he's like, "Don't worry, like we'll make sure that you're, comfortable with everything. Like this is meant to be like for fun. Like this isn't like a serious professional poker tournament. Like there will be pros there and there is money involved, but I really don't. I mean, obviously it would be great to win, but like I'm not obsessed with like I gotta get first place. Like it's not about that. Like it's really about like this is a great place to just meet more people, great connections, bridging NFT communities together. Like I'm definitely there more so for like the community aspect and involvement of it than anything. But of course, like I don't want to be the first one out. Like, I want to
Of
do like
course.
decent.
That reminds me of an episode of The Girls Next Door. You ever see that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm friends
Oh
with
yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Derp. Derp. So in one episode, the girls, or at least Kendra, or maybe this wasn't even The Girls Next Door. Maybe this was just the Kendra show,
Hmm.
where she goes to like the celebrity basketball game and she's making like like in the warm-up, she's making like none of the shots, none of her shots go in. But then as soon as the game starts, she's like, oh, three, oh, got it. And she was just on point, just in it. Um, that's just what you reminded me of. Just there.
Yeah, no, so I mean, with competing my whole life and competing in front of people, audiences and stuff, I get wildly nervous. But when it's game time, I get hyper focused. So I'll be like a ball of nerves until like the very second. And then once I'm in it, I'm just like, I channel that all into just being super, super focused. So I'm not worried about that. I'm literally just worried about like the mechanisms and making sure that I understand the rules and everything. Like that's more because somebody was like, don't worry, because there's going to be a live stream. I may or may not show up on it because it may just be focused like sort of on one table. And so, I hope I show up. I don't know if I will, because it's going to be like 100 people. Um, and somebody was like, "Oh, don't be worried about all the people watching." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm actually not worried about that." Like, if I'm in a room, like I can't ever be like a public speaker because if people are sitting there staring at me, no. But like this kind of stuff, like I can't see all the people watching me, so it doesn't bother me.
Wait, so
The
how are you
same
going to
with
be
like
in the VV ambassador program if you can't like have all the people watching you? Because everyone's going to want to like. So there's in Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. Not Lord Elrond. King Theoden of Rohan is going to talk to like the trio, like Legolas, Gimli, Aragorn, and says, "I will not risk open war." And then Aragorn is saying like smoking his pipe. He's like, like open war is upon you, whether you would risk it or not. So when we do the ambassador program, like people are going to look at you. People love you, and they just want more of anything of Veve Magic, whether you want them to look at you or not. That they're going to. How do you plan to go and combat that stress, that anxiety of everyone looking at you and everyone expecting you to like put on a show and being Veve Magic?
um it depends on the circumstances. Okay, like if somebody wanted me to like get on a stage with a microphone, I will pee my pants. I will lose my
Like
shit.
I would have done if I hadn't gone to the bathroom 3 times already.
Like that is, I have a tremendous fear of public speaking. Like it is my biggest fear in life. Tremendous fear.
I don't see that because you're
I
so
do,
comfortable right now. You're so good.
because nobody can see me.
But we can all see you.
And no one, I know it's in my brain. It's if you and I were sitting on a stage, and actually I might be okay on stage because you're with me.
Okay.
Me by myself on a stage in front of a audience, I can't do it. I can't. I mean, maybe at some point in my life I'll have the guts to do it, but like I don't think I can do it. And but like I can't see anybody that's watching, so I don't care. Like, because I can't see them and I can't see their facial reactions, because I would be scanning the audience looking at everybody. And because I can't see everybody's reactions, like I don't, if you don't like what I'm saying, I don't care because I can't see it. You know, like there was like some random comment earlier. I'm like, I don't care because I can't see you. Like you don't affect
But like
me. But if I saw your face, then it would like get into my brain. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. But so yeah, somebody was saying like, oh, don't worry about the live stream. You know, like, you're going to do fine. I'm like, I actually don't care because I don't know who will be watching me. Like the live stream portion of it doesn't bother me at all.
it's
It's
the
just,
actual live. That's so strange because
it's
like
just
it.
playing at a table, not knowing like, you know, like all these ins and outs and wanting to make sure that I do everything like properly. That's why I'm a Virgo. It's the perfectionist in me that I want to know, like, I want to, like, I know how to play certain hands. Like, I'm not worried about my playing ability with poker. I'm literally worried about the semantics. Like, literally, that's what I'm worried about.
Oh, that's such a. Uh, so I'm kind of a little jealous of that because if I had your mentality, I'd probably have a bunch more subscribers because your mentality would make me edit things and I would have like, things in the background. Like people wouldn't be looking at my face. They would be looking at whatever you thought would be like whatever I'm talking about. Like let's say if we're talking about Lion King, I would show like screenshots of Simba and Scar and Mufasa. Mufasa. Sorry. I love that. I love that quote. And it's just that I wish I had that because I don't have that drive. It's just like whatever the people are gonna look at, like they're gonna get me looking like a homeless person. They're gonna get me and if I was more like you, I would be more successful. I would have more subscribers, I have more followers. And I just so if I could step out of anyone, if I could step out of my own body and be put into someone else, and it'd probably be someone like you.
Well, I feel like we would like be sort of the perfect combination because like the things that you strive in, I lack in, the things that I strive in, you know, maybe you lack in. Like I if I could just let go and not be such a perfectionist, I could be doing live streams every day and whatever. But like, I just, my mode is like, if I do something, I want to do it right. And I want to do it to like what I see, like where I see it being the best. And it may not be the best to other people, but at least it was the best to me. You know what I mean? And like, I prep even for live streams, I prep a lot. Like it's very intense. And like videos that I do that takes me a while, like a pre-produced video. There's a lot that goes into that. Now, I may not have the fanciest tools and techniques, and it may not be like high tech, but I put a lot of time and energy into that. And that's why I don't create content as much, is because I put everything into what I do. And I want it to be I want it to be a certain way. Otherwise I
So
would do it every day, but I'm very intense.
I just wish if I was God, or if I was like your manager, and if I could give you like a pill that could just take away anxiety, I'd be like, dude, just do it. Just go live and just talk about whatever you want to talk about because people don't care that it's perfect. They don't want. I feel like people don't want perfection. They just want you. Like it's so
Mm.
like Toy Story 4 when I was talking about on your space with Yo Steph, and it was like people loved Toy Story 3 because it was like the perfect ending and it was like the best and they didn't want to ruin that. But a lot of people, me included, just want more time with our favorite characters. We
Mm.
just want more dialogue. We just want more ways that we can interact with them. And I feel like it doesn't have to be a Toy Story 3. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I want to see more of you, like imperfections and all. Like there's a woman called Jamie Alexander. She got her big break on Kyle XY. She became Lady Sif in the Thor movies. And she has like a small mole on like her cheek, one of the cheeks, and it's some of her imperfections that make her like more perfect. And it's like, oh God, I love her so much. And as a fan of you, I just want to see more of you. And I love the little imperfections where like, oh God, this question, oh God, I don't know. Like if someone were to ask you something live, it's just the way you react to things, it's just so perfect by itself. And you rob people of that. You don't let people get to. So what is something that you want to, I'm going to ask you this question, then I have to pee again.
Oh my God.
Sorry. What is something that you wish you could improve at? And then what is something that you're super happy that you are the way you are and that nobody can change that?
Oh, you asked me my like Achilles heel question. I used to fight with my dad as a teenager.
We can go over that soon.
I have no idea what you're saying because of the echo. But I used to fight with my dad. Maybe it was in college or like going and making my first resumes and stuff. And it was like, name a weakness. And I would ask my dad for help. And he would be like, a perfectionist. And he and I got into multiple arguments where I'm like, well, that's not a weakness. And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, I don't see it as a weakness. I see that as like a strength. Like I want perfection and stuff. And he's like, no, you need to understand that perfectionism is a weakness. And but it's a great interview answer because perfectionism, like when you pick a weakness for an interview, it should be something that is actually kind of a strong suit. And so it's the perfect answer. But that is my strength and my weakness is that I am very perfectionistic and it hinders me and it also makes me thrive. So it is both a good and bad thing.
So what was the main thing that you and your dad fought about when you were younger?
That he told me perfectionism is a weakness, and I argued with him that no, it's a strength.
So what was your perfectionism in? Was it in horseback riding? Was it
everything?
Oh, so like college papers to
I like there was one competition that when my parents were at, and I forgot what happened, but I was picking it apart extremely. And they got, I think I may have won, but I was picking it apart and they got angry at me. Like we had a fight at a horse show because of the fact that I was picking apart my performance. And they were like, you need to stop being a perfectionist. And I was like, but it wasn't good enough. Like that's just how I've been my whole life. Like even if I do well at something, like it wasn't good enough. And it is a fault. It totally is a fault. Like I see it now. But I still also love that about me. And I think that's okay. It's okay to love your faults.
Well, so there's an episode of Hey Arnold where Mrs. Rita Flora, she goes in and she hurts her back, and she's like the gardener. She has all these plants and all these flowers, and she does it all herself. And she puts Arnold and Gerald in charge of the store. And Gerald is all about like the money, and he's all about like making things profitable. And Arnold is all about presentation, and he's all about, well, the people, they're not going to come back if they have a subpar, like plant or order. They're going to come back if they're perfect, if everything's like, wow. And so I feel like you're an Arnold where you want to make everything just wow and stand out. And do you think that comes from anything? Do you think that came from anything when you were super young where you had to be like super, like you had to curtsy and you had to go and
yes and no. I mean, I think part of that plays into my birth chart and my sign. Like that's just something that's kind of ingrained in Virgos, but also I will there be a get together in Vegas? Oh, that's a good question. Sorry, I was reading the comment. He asked, Fun Under the Sun asked if there's gonna be a get together. So if you're a Vegas native, DM me because I do have 3 tickets for people if they want to go to the tournament with me. I think one might be taken, but I do have 2 seats, or you can't like you won't be playing in the tournament. You'll just be watching. And from noon to 2, there is a like a meet and greet pre-party thing.
Yeah.
And then people can watch in the viewing room. So the guests can come and they can leave whenever they want. But yeah, do reach out if you're in the area because I have passes. It's on Tuesday. Tuesday. Yeah, sorry, it's like a random day of the week, but Tuesday noon till probably like 8:30, 9:30, 10, something like that. Okay, I got off my train of thought.
What were we talking? I think your dad was a perfectionist, and then
oh yeah, okay. No, so it's part of it is my just I feel like my zodiac sign and then like how I was born and everything, and then I just think also part of it is the way I was raised. Like I wouldn't say I was raised super high pressure, but like there was, you know, expectations. Like if you wanted to do this, you needed to do this, and like like if you wanted to compete, you needed to have good grades. And my parents were strict, but fair. I wouldn't change anything. I thought they were great parents, but it was like every action has a consequence, and yeah, I just understood that super early on. So I feel like some of it was natural and some of it was learned. But so I am.
okay. So there's okay, what are some of the lyrics of Let It Go where Elsa says and this could be, I think, interpreted in many ways, but this is the way that I interpret it, where she says, it's funny how some distance makes everything seem small. The fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. And she continues on and says, it's time to see what I can do to test the limits that break through. And I feel like for me, when I was younger, I was held back by a lot of what the restrictions I had for the people that I was around, the adults that wouldn't let me do things. And I was very fearful of what they would do to me if I were to break their rules. And then once I moved out, okay, well, the fears that once controlled me now, like they can't get to me. And now it's time to see what I can do to break I know that the line is to test the limits that break through, but I kind of changed those lyrics to like to test the limits that they drew. What were some of the limits that you had when you were younger, and how did you break through from that when you were older?
No, you brought up some really good points on what you said that made me think about things. My limits. I had a very conservative household, and I was a very, very good child. I was basically, if you could think of like the ideal child, like that was me. Like I was a really, really good child.
And is that what you wanted to be, or is that just what you were forced to be?
Both. Both. I have very high standards and expectations for myself. So, and I don't know if that's because that's what was bred or what, but like I've always sort of kept myself to a certain level. But like in my adulthood, I wouldn't say I test that because I was an adult. I could do whatever I want. But I also I am the child that always wants to make their family and their parents proud. But I've never done anything that would not make them proud, other than maybe just lived life a little bit more freely than they did. But I've always just been that good child. And I think now I've gotten to the point where I am okay with, even if they things that I have done that like maybe they would disagree with, but I didn't agree with, would bother me that they disagreed with it. And I've gotten to the point where now it doesn't bother me. Like for example, I wore the shirt from Fabrics Crypto Crayons that says I only F with magic. And like you understand the context of that. You understand that you're not swearing at somebody. Like it means like I only like get good vibes. Like it has a positive context to what it's saying. And I have somebody like Wes that's in the comments being shitty and not understanding. And like, come on, if you actually know me, like, you know that I'm not putting I'm not trying to embrace swear words and like be non-Disney. Like it's about like he kind of proved the point of the shirt is that it's about embracing positivity. That's what the shirt's about. Like if we want to get down to the nitty gritty and get into like cultural references and like understand what the heck you're talking about, that's what it's about. And that's a shirt that would very much offend my parents. And my parents look at my socials and they see my socials and I don't care because I know what it means and I know what I'm embracing and I know that it's only meant in a positive way and the word isn't even spelled properly and I'm not going to wear it to Disneyland and I'm not going to wear it to my children's school. Like I have enough self-awareness of where I'm wearing the shirt. But that's the stuff that I never would have done in the past. But because I am confident enough in who I am and I know what I'm representing, that I have no problem with it. And if somebody else has a problem with it, it's their problem.
So there's that reminds me of a quote that Optimus Prime once said. And he said, the greatest weakness of most humans is their hesitancy to tell others how they love them while they're still alive. Do you agree with this, or do you think there's something else that humans struggle with, which is more crippling?
I think a lot of humans struggle with telling somebody how they really feel for whatever reason. Yeah, I would say that. Like whether you're protecting your feelings, their feelings, whatever, I think in a lot of instances, people have a hard time speaking honestly and being vulnerable in certain situations.
There's a lot of strife between boomers and Gen X or millennials. Are you millennial or are you Gen X?
I don't know.
You're older millennial. Well, either way, I feel like there's a lot of big differences in emotions between many of the groups. And I feel like a lot of the older people are just like, oh, you just tough it out, pull yourselves up by the bootstraps, and you just kind of like man up. And I feel like there's a lot of things that, for me at least, like if I see like, oh, if somebody references like Butterfree's Goodbye and Pokemon, that gets me in the feels. I'm like, oh, it makes me emotional and I get sad. And a lot of older people that they just don't understand that. But so what's seen in any movie? It could be Disney, it could be something else. What's something that makes you emotional in any form of media that maybe older people might not understand? And why does it make you emotional?
I'm so bad at on the spot questions. You asked.
Sorry. It's just what my brain does.
No.
We can move on. You don't want to
answer. There was something that happened recently, and I'm just trying. My memory is so bad, but there was something that happened recently, and it gave me so much emotion, but I'm just forgetting what it is. But there are certain. I was having a discussion with somebody. I said, when you watch a certain scene, like in a movie, do you get physically affected? Like I will get literal body chills. And that person's like, no. And I'm like, no, like I actually get literal body chills from certain scenes. It's like I can't necessarily like name them off the bat. Like Up does that to me. Oh my God.
The first scene, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. I can't watch. I refuse because I don't want that emotion.
And just it's not even just in movies. Like it's like I can walk down Main Street in Disneyland, and if the song from Up is playing, it gets me chills every single time. Or just seeing a certain interaction, just like me even seeing other people having experience in certain emotions will give me physical chills. So it's like hard to like necessarily pinpoint exact moments, but I'm very reactive, like extremely reactive to a lot emotionally. And if like my body may try to conceal it, but my arms
Conceal, don't feel.
my arms will always they're always a telltale. I will always get chills. It's crazy, right?
So I feel like we've both had similar but also different lives, where similar things where we've had our parents and people older than us try to mold us into maybe what they wanted to be. But we grew up on different coasts. I mean, I was born in Peru, but grew up mostly on the East Coast of America. You grew up on the West Coast, and really, for the most part, stayed there. Leaving very sparingly. So I'm curious, like, just because we're in different parts of the world, who do you think is maybe the smartest person that you've ever that you've had the pleasure of interacting with, and why did they make you feel that way?
Oh man. Who's the smartest? I don't know. Because like I've encountered people that are smart in like very different ways. Like I've learned a lot from my dad in people. Like I'm very smart in people, understanding people, and how they work and how mannerisms and all that kind of stuff, which is why I'm actually good at poker, is because I understand and I can read people really well. But like intelligence is hard. And then like I know people that are extremely savvy and have just like managed to just pave ways in their life. But I don't know. It's super hard to just think of somebody off the top of my head as like the smartest person in bed or whatever.
I understand.
I told you I'm really bad with on the spot questions.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I love, like I said, I'm just a fan of you, and I love every response you give, whether it's something that's super insightful or something that's like, oh, dude, I don't heckin' know, and you just have this thing. Who are you a fan of? Who is something that you just like? They're like, ooh, oh, I love this person. Who is something that someone that you really like, just it thoroughly enjoy everything that they do and say, their perspective on life?
I think I'm gonna keep it to like just media that I look at. So really, really into cryptocurrencies and fabrics and what he's doing on his Instagram, which his Instagram, like the handle that he's using is Airy Vision. And I repost stuff like daily. His super inspiring quotes, and I don't know. It just really speaks to me. I've met him in person and he is just lovely. Like he is just such a lovely human being. I also really love Sabet. I'm going to be getting at some point a piece of art from Sabet that I cannot wait. I'm so excited. But he's another one that I met at the same time as Fabrics, and another just insane energy and kind. Like both of these men are kind. Like it's so refreshing to meet a man who can emotionally connect with a female and be vulnerable and kind and still strong and smart. And there's something about that is just so alluring. And I love both of those guys for that reason. Is they're so very connected to females and very compassionate and loving and praising of females. I love that. And
I think I love that the most, because
yeah,
I think a lot of times what we really admire in other people is the things that we don't have ourselves. And I have this thing where I'm like, maybe not like judgmental. I just have a lot of high standards for people in general. And when other people can just see like, oh no, it's so good, and they can see the silver linings, they can see things with that. I think that's amazing.
yeah.
For people. So I don't know how long I have you for. We've been going for almost 3 hours. But
Crazy.
yeah, I know, right? It doesn't seem like that. It seems like, I just want this to last
I haven't
forever.
talked to you in so long.
I know, dude. I miss you. I just want to. When I say like we're gonna go visit Steph, like like that's going to happen in the next month. Like we will get down there. Like both of us, it will happen. So be prepared. Am I Scar in like 1994? Because be prepared, and that's gonna happen.
It would be really fun. It would be really, really fun.
So it will be because it's going to happen. So I guess one more question before we go off camera and we talk privately. What are you obsessed with right now? What is something that I was like, oh my God, I can't get enough of this person, this band, this TikTok artist, this YouTube person. What do you love right now?
I'm not a super obsessive person, but this is going to sound super corny, but I'm obsessed with my sandwich. Max and Janie, I'm obsessed with.
Yes, I love them too.
I called her and FaceTimed with her today, and then I FaceTimed with Max later, and we FaceTimed together. Like I just love them. I'm so obsessed with them.
I love them too. From the first time I met them in 2021 at Anaheim in the designer con, we talked to what's the name, Luke Chu. He did the Bears. They're just amazing people. They're awesome people. I played poker with Max and just they're yeah. I understand. I love them so much too.
They're just good.
Yeah.
They're just they're just innately good human beings. And when I like encounter people like that just like match me on such a simplistic level, and it's so easy. Like, you know, the stuff that I went through this week, like she was my rock and my go-to, and like to have something like that is just really, really special. So yeah, that's kind of my obsession. I'm not really obsessed with anything.
Oh, I'm really happy for you guys. I love that so much. It's so amazing.
But it does make me really, really miss like the community and like the fam more. Like when I do like interact with them and like we have like such a good like talk, it makes me like I cannot wait for a meetup where we can all be together and all vibe and just all like
it'll happen. Well, it'll happen with me, you, and Steph in like a month, but in like 2 months it'll happen at San Diego Comic-Con. So let's do this. Let's chug the rest of our drink and then
mine's gone.
All right, let's go.
It's gone though.
Oh, yours. Oh, all right, hang on.
Nothing there.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Magic, thank you so much for joining. I love you so much. I
love you.
You have no freaking idea. All right, I love you. All right, I love you guys. I'll tell you all soon. Thank you for the super chats.
Thanks for having me.